What is up, everybody? I'm a little late. I came downstairs. We had my child had a belt testing today. That is not it's not abuse. He's in martial arts. Just so you guys know, he had a belt testing today, so we got home a little bit late, and I came downstairs to get prepared. And I turned on my computer, and my computer wanted to update. Because that's what my computer does anytime I'm in a hurry. You know, you guys ever seen that meme that says, like, the printer knows that if you're in a hurry, you have to play it cool. Because the printer knows you are not getting your product printed as quickly as you want it to. My computer always knows. It's like, oh, is it time? Time to stream? How about an update? How about 3 updates? How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you guys are doing good. Hope everybody out there is enjoying the week. It's been a pretty good week. The memes on Facebook are fire right now. There's a lot of Donald Trump and Bill Clinton memes, and I can't stop sharing them. Won't stop sharing them. You know. We thought he was sucking Elon's toes. Turns out he was sucking something else. Oh, good times. Good times. All right. Well, we started late, so I got to get moving. What is going on, guys? Alabama got beat today. Woke Mike, that means something different in different parts of the United States of America. I'm guessing you're talking about college football. Let's see who's all here. Alan coming in hot, number 1. Maristella, almost got you. Number 1 for Alan. What's happening, Maristella? Etch, what's happening? Starman, what's going on? Mama Brooke, I know. I'm never late. I was late today. Marjorie Taylor Brown. Is that what he called her? Did he call her Marjorie Taylor Brown because he said green grass turns brown when it's rotten? Oh my God. Can we just not finish the rest of Trump's presidency? It'd be great if we could just go ahead and get him arrested for the whole Epstein stuff. That'd be amazing. I don't know if I can deal with the bad nicknames for the rest of the 3 years. Love the MTG Trump breakup. Best part of my morning was checking True Social. It is hilarious. Has he posted? Oh, he has posted since then, right? Oh, you heard he got hacked. Alan, is that true? Kevin, what's happening? He wrote this post and they're still up. Oh, I need to go look at those posts. I haven't seen what posts you're talking about. Cajun, what's happening, Cajun? What's happening, SF? What's going on? Nightbot, good job down there. Keep doing your job, Nightbot. Keep doing your job. Yeah, he's been missing for a while. They have, he has not been interested in being on the internet lately, which is hilarious because, dude, him getting to see all the memes of him and Bill Clinton, and now him and Ghislaine Maxwell's horse, amazing, guys. Funkhauser, what's happening? Liz, what's going on? Sees the memes of production. Hell yeah. Heard I got hacked. No, my child got hacked. That's actually a pretty good thing to say while I'm on here. So my child did get scammed into clicking a link from somebody. If you guys don't know about it, Discord will, there's people on Discord that will send you a message saying, I'm really sorry, but I accidentally reported you, trying to report somebody else, and, they're going to ban your IP from Discord. So my daughter was up late one night doing some Discord stuff. And unfortunately, she had somebody send her that email. And my daughter, trying to be the good person that she was afraid that my stuff would get messed up. And so she jumped in there and tried to fix it. But of course, it's a scam. And they did hack her Discord account. I did boot her from the Discord. So that way, that user cannot do anything in the Discord. But unfortunately, it does seem like they took down the friends list, the names of the people on our Discord. So if you get an email or a message, a Discord message from me, you did not. I don't randomly send people Discord messages. I've tried to tell you guys this like a million times. I don't do social media. I don't message people. I'm bad at looking at my emails. I'm not a social media person, guys. I'm really sorry. But I wish I was better at that, but I'm not. So if you ever get a message from me, like out of the blue, it's not me. It's not me, okay? I don't do that. At times, I have a hard time remembering to message my wife, okay? So please, and specifically if I'm giving you financial advice, come on, you guys know me. I don't give financial advice. Every time I say something that could be financial advice, I say this is not financial advice. Jenny, thank you for the $20, Jenny. That is a lemon. That is a lemon person. Thank you so much, Jenny. What's happening, Jeremy? What's going on? All right. So it's time to seize the memes of production. Yeah. So just if you are on my Discord, I do not send almost anybody messages. So keep that in mind. I think next Friday we might have Alex from Devil's Advocate on the show. We'll do a Friday show, I think, and hang out with Alex if I can make things work. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's get to it. Ain't nothing to do it but to do it. Speaking of the Donald Trump memes, guys. So I know you guys have seen all the Donald Trump memes, the different, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump memes, right? There's been a lot going around. There's a lot of jokes about Monica Lewinsky. There's a lot of jokes about the 2016 election between Hillary and Trump. And there's a lot of jokes going around about the Ghislaine Maxwell's her horse as well, who apparently also is named Bubba. This is the dumbest timeline. Let's just admit that it is the dumbest timeline, okay? But also at the same time, much like Idiocracy, it is pretty amusing at times. And other times not so amusing. Sometimes definitely not so amusing. But a lot of the times nowadays, it's not amusing. This Epstein email extravaganza has been a godsend. I mean, we had already had a pretty good week last week when Mom Donnie won and Cheryl won and Spanberger won and Jones won. And just, we got to see that people were actually figuring out that this is not good for America. But I think the best thing that I've seen so far was this right here, guys. This is Alex Jones. Alex Jones talking about ding-dongs, guys. Are you guys ready for this? You might need to prepare yourself. I'm going to, put down your drinks. You don't want to have... you don't want to have any... Well, I was going to say you don't want to have anything in your mouth right now. That's a little too on point, though. So this is Alex Jones talking about Donald Trump, guys, and Bill Clinton, and the stuff, the things that potentially happened. So check this out. I watched this earlier today. Now you guys get to watch this. You guys ready for this? Oh wait, we need sound. We need sound. Don't do that.
Video of President Trump sucking a ding dong. And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen. I never sucked any ding dongs. But I'll tell you, if they were going to blackmail me to start World War III about one, I'd say, hey, I sucked a golf ball through a freaking garden hose.
Oh my God! Why is it always turn off the sound at the beginning? So what he says at the very beginning here is there are no. God damn it! Every time I touch the freaking, somebody help me out! I need it. I have technical difficulties. So when he says here at the beginning is he says there are no videos of Donald Trump sucking a ding dong. Oh, it's kind of amazing.
There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding dong. And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen.
Look at the guy next to him. Is that his son? He kind of looks like him. He kind of looks like Alex Jones. Is that Alex Jones' son? Also, he doesn't look like that's a real person. That doesn't look like that's a real person, even. He does not look comfortable. He doesn't look comfortable, guys.
But I'll tell you, if they were going to blackmail me to start World War III about one, I'd say, hey, I sucked a golf ball through a freaking garden hose.
So let me ask you guys a question. Is he insinuating that Donald Trump should own it? And also, what does he mean blackmailing you for World War III? Donald Trump is the one who's creating World War III. Donald Trump is the one who pushed China into Venezuela's arms. Donald Trump is the one who is creating conflict across the globe. Even his boy Putin is like having issues with him right now. If anybody is going to start World War III, it is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is talking about going into Nigeria. Why? Why are we talking about going in Nigeria? What is the point of any of this? But apparently, guys, what Alex Jones will like you guys all know is that there are no videos of this. Pictures still up in the air. Not confirmed. Possibility. Might be pictures. There might be pictures, guys. That was just kind of amazing. I was like, I have to show this to you guys. I cannot believe that. That is like the most amazing thing ever. But before we get off this topic, let's look at a couple of these, okay? Let's look at a couple of these memes. Okay. This one's probably a good one here. Let's find one here. Well, that's not it. Those are weird cat videos and shit. Oh, is this from Grok? The Big Beautiful Bill. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, here we go. Let's just click a couple of these. All right. I like that one. A chili dog, John Mellencamp. You gotta be a little bit on the older side to get that one. All right. Record black imprisonment, record black welfare, record black employment. This is back in the good days. This is when Trump was feeling himself. This is when Trump was doing this stuff.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him.
Oh, these are all Republican memes. President Clinton reveals that he is in a relationship with businessman Donald Trump. I want to be completely open with the American people as we move forward. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, amazing. The Big Beautiful Bill, it all makes sense now. How about this one? Donica Lewinsky. How about that one? Oh, God. It's just kind of amazing. I mean, there's probably a bunch more. But anyways, I just wanted to share those ones with you guys. God, the memes have been amazing. If you guys find memes, there is a community for this that you can put in the, you can put memes in. I have a community on YouTube that you guys, I'm pretty sure any of you guys can post on it. You just got to go to my community. Anyways. All right. We just had to get that out of the way before we got to the other stuff. Have you guys seen what's happening, Bandit? Are you guys, what's happening, Dark Cash? What's going on, buddy? I thought his son left him. No, that was a different guy, Mama Brooke. That was some January 6er. The January 6er, he yelled at the January 6er, and the January 6ers, he left. I wish we would have more time to get more memes up. I hate having to Google memes. What's happening, Nathan? It is getting crazier every day. Thank you. Yeah, Suzanne, what's happening? All right. So you guys have probably seen this, and it's going to come as no surprise to you. Elon Musk's father, and I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I know that Elon Musk did pay $270 million for Donald Trump to cosplay being his daddy. I know that Elon Musk did get pay-pigged by Donald Trump. But I mean Elon Musk's actual father, you know, the one that supposedly had 2 kids with his stepdaughter. Yeah, that Erol Musk, the one that looks like he's potentially a lich, perhaps even Lich King. That guy, it's going to come as no surprise to any of you that Erol Musk is an extremely racist human being. But just in case you needed some confirmation, I present to you Exhibit A.
The big concern at the moment, and why I think South Africa is a big talking point in the US right now, is America in the next 20 years will become, for the first time in its history, a minority white country.
Well, that will be a very, very bad thing to happen.
Why? Why does race matter? Why does the color of your skin matter? Aren't we like literally importing people on H-1B visas? Didn't Donald Trump just the other day tell Laura Ingraham that there's no good workers here, there's no quality workers here? If most of the people here are white people, and yet we still don't have enough good workers, quality workers in America, doesn't that mean that's actually a good thing?
You want to see the US go down? Why? Oh, you don't like cars and electric cars, and you don't like technology, or what is?
What the fuck does that mean? He said, you don't like cars. Aren't the Asians like the best ones at building the cars? Aren't the Japanese the best ones at building cars? Aren't they? Don't we get like all of our technology from Japan? What does that mean? You don't like cars.
Do you want to go back to the jungle, or?
If the US
Do you want to go back to the jungle? What the fuck does that mean?
becomes a minority white country.
Yes.
So there's Latinas, there's blacks, there's people from all different races make up the majority, and then, you know, it could be 48% white people. Do you really think the US is doomed if it goes under?
Yes, it goes under then.
Seriously?
Yes, of course. You see, if you take South Africa, we have a small white population that projects European culture, or what we learned from Europe.
And oppressed millions of black people.
I remember, wasn't it called like apartheid? I can't say the word, so don't judge me. I'm from a trailer park. Apartheid? Am I saying it right? Somebody spell that phonetically for me. I know it was bad. Isn't that why the white people own like everything? Isn't that why fucking Elon Musk's father is rich and is able to impregnate his stepdaughter?
No.
For decades.
How do you oppress? We gave them work. We fed them. They grew from a tiny little group into a massive group.
You gave them food and fed them? I think they were fucking there before you.
That's not oppression. That's feeding them. Do you understand? You only grow big if you get fed. You only start at 800 and become 50 million if you get fed. We fed them, for crying out loud. You know, enough with this nonsense.
But so you understand, because the black population was so oppressed under apartheid.
Thanks, guys. He just said it. He just said it as you guys are spelling it phonetically for me. Apartheid. Apartheid? Apartheid. All right, I got it. Okay? I don't think that a white bald man should be walking around saying the word apartheid, though. It doesn't seem safe. It doesn't seem good, guys.
Well, we never saw this oppression you're talking about.
You never saw it.
No, I never saw it.
Yeah, but because you're white.
He said because you are white. Oh, no. That man said, he said, don't you like cars? Don't you like electric cars? Don't you like technology? What is wrong with this country right now, man? We are off the chain, dude. Elon's father lives in South Africa, and Donnie notes that a country is a talking point in the U.S. Right now, following President Trump's claim white South African farmers are being abused and killed. Donnie's shocked by the answer, and Erol doubles down and brings up his own nation as an example. He says, the country's small white population that protects the European culture. Dude, TMZ has some really bad writing. Also, there is some different kind of ads on TMZ. There. Why is my ad blocker not working? Here, get that off the screen before I get in trouble. They're still fully clothed, okay? They're still fully clothed. Thigh-high hotties, guess who? Let's see what the other ones. Cardi B gives birth to 4 child. I never go on TMZ, guys. That's not a website that I frequent. My innocent eyes. He said, don't you like cars? Don't you like technology? What is going on in this country right now, man? We are just like absolutely batshit crazy. Can somebody help me out? Like, what is it? Is it the lead in the water? I mean, okay, so first of all, we don't claim Erol Musk. We don't actually claim Erol Musk or Elon, to be honest with you. We don't claim Erol or Elon or Peter Thiel, all of them from South Africa. And does it not seem weird to you guys that all of these weird-ass people are coming from South Africa, and then Donald Trump's like, you know who we need to bring into the country? We gotta stop letting the Mexicans in. We gotta let the South Africans in. Let's bring the South Africans in. They're really good. They're the best people. They have cars. They have technology. They have a lot of money, those white South Africans from apartheid. He would say it wrong, though, huh? He would say apartheid. Apartheid. They participated in the apartheid. They made a lot of money. I heard it was very successful. Oh, my God. What is going on right now, guys? Oh, Jesus. I got on here, like, so late. I'm like, I don't even know what in these stories are. Like, I'm on vacation. And I'm still, like, I did not have enough time to look at everything I was supposed to. So, wait. That was TMZ posting. I was watching a CNN video on TMZ. Oh, ampersand or whatever. What's happening, AJ? What's up, John Hudson? What's up, Mark Krasner? What's up, Perry? What's going on, guys? Oh, dude. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. All right. So you guys hear about this ICE agent? Did you guys hear about this one? Oh my God, guys. So you guys remember we had the ICE agent not too long ago that was drunk driving with his children, right? You guys remember that? And he got pulled over and he said to the black dude, he said, "Hey, are you Haitian?" And he said, "That doesn't matter, sir." "Yeah, it definitely matters." And then he proceeded to not be able to walk a white line and proceeded to tell the officers that were arresting him that he was an ICE agent and that they were effing a-holes. You remember that? Well, it turns out, guys, it seems like they're not really hiring the best people. I don't get it. It seems weird, but it seems like, guys, the ICE agents they're not hiring the best people out there. So yes, we did, guys. We had an ICE agent doing the thing that the conservatives have been so worried about for so long. Look, every accusation is a confession when it comes to Republicans. And yeah, you know how it was. The bathrooms are a big deal. You You can't have bathrooms because somebody that really wants to assault women that, they've been waiting their whole life to go in and assault some lady. The only thing that's been stopping them is that they're not allowed in the bathrooms. Okay, that's the trans are coming, man. They're gonna get in the bathrooms, and the ladies are never gonna be safe ever again. Well, it turns out this ICE agent actually went into a women's restroom with his gun. Yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's check this story out. Here you go. All right, so we need some background first. So let's start with this. So this guy was part of this this arrest that happened. I believe this is in a Walmart parking lot. Okay, and what they've done is they grabbed one of the Walmart workers, all right, and they're throwing him into a car while this other dude that's also works with him is saying, no, he's an American citizen, leave him the fuck alone.
Hey, that's for work, bro. That's for work. Hey, what the
So this is the ICE agent right there.
Don't touch me there. What's the song? You're the one pushing me. You're the one pushing me. You.
Back right now. Get back.
We're right here. What the are we doing?
Get the fuck back.
Oh, cause we're standing here recording you.
Okay, he's probably somewhere.
Okay. So that was the original incident. That man was a Walmart worker. And it says here, so this is the dude who's the ICE agent, okay? U.S. Border Patrol agent who was identified in a notorious viral video arresting an American citizen. He was an American citizen, by the way, this summer, and who was awaiting a trial after allegedly drunkenly assaulting police officer in California in a separate incident, died of a drug overdose. This dude went on an epic spree. He was part of arresting an American citizen. He assaulted police officers and then eventually died of a drug overdose. So here you go. Isaiah Hodgson, 29, passed away at his parents' house in Riverside County in August, but his cause of death has now only come to light after it was revealed to a Long Beach Superior Court judge by the lawyer hired to defend him. The LA County Medical Examiner has yet to release an autopsy report, but it is believed that it could further illuminate the circumstances of Hodgson's death. The agent's troubles began on June 17th when he was one of a team that took part in an immigration raid outside of a large outdoor retail park in Pico Rivera. So not Walmart, my bad. Not Walmart. Sorry. Oh, it was. Which turned ugly when Adrian Martinez, a Walmart worker on his lunch break, intervened to try to prevent the detention of a janitor, resulting in a brawl in which Martinez, 20, was overpowered by multiple officers and thrown in the back of a truck and taken away. So it was a Walmart employee that tried to step in and stop them from arresting this janitor. The video was subsequently posted by U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley, who said Martinez was arrested for an allegation of punching a Border Patrol agent in the face after he attempted to impede their immigration enforcement operation, urging people not to follow his example. The Border Patrol Chief Agent Greg Bavino also posted the video, saying a false narrative is and was being pushed out about the incident, echoing Asaley's stance on it and attempting to quell outrage over Martinez's treatment. The Walmart employee was ultimately held for 3 days in a downtown Los Angeles detention facility despite his mother arriving and presenting his birth certificate to prove his nationality. And then he was released on $5,000 bond. Martinez, the Walmart guy, has since lost his job but has said he has no regrets about trying to speak up for a man that couldn't speak up for himself. He and his attorneys are currently fighting the federal criminal charge. Okay, so then on July 7th, Hodgson was arrested himself after allegedly wandering drunkenly into the women's restroom of the Yard House restaurant on Long Beach's Shoreline Village. So this is the video. So let's watch a little bit of this video of this ICE agent getting arrested.
I'm gonna tase him.
Tase him. I like when I hear that. You know, nothing says this is worth watching for me more than hearing the cops say about some douchebag ICE agent, let's tase him. Hell yeah, brother. Ah!
Newly released body cam video.
Oh, how the turntables. Should have maced his ass too.
Showing the arrest of a Customs and Border Patrol agent. Mike Rogers, you worked for weeks to get this video.
So, Mike, take us through what it shows and the tragedy that follows.
Yeah, so this is Isaiah Hodgson. Isaiah Hodgson was a Customs and Border Protection agent, and he was involved in a controversial arrest of a 20-year-old U.S. citizen in a Walmart parking lot. That was Adrian Martinez. Now, the feds accused Martinez of getting involved in an operation, but during that takedown, Hodgson's face went viral. Now that's how we figured out who he was when this happened. Check out this video that we just got from the Long Beach Police Department. The Long Beach Police say that's Hodgson there in the white hat, white shirt. He had pulled out a gun, according to law enforcement, inside the women's restroom at a Yard House restaurant. This is a video from the park.
Is he trans, though? Like, that's going to be the most important question that can be answered right now. Was he trans, though? Like, it's very important. We need to know this. Were there any messages written on the bullets? Does he know what a groiper is?
When he encountered a security guard who later called 911. This is Hodgson, according to police, putting the gun down by a tree before he...
Look at these douchebags. This douchebag brought his gun with him to a restaurant, then entered a women's bathroom to accost a woman to ask her for her cell phone number with his gun. He brought his gun with him. These are ICE agents, and it shouldn't surprise anybody, right? This is exactly who we thought these people are. Them and Dean Cain also. Probably Rob Schneider by now, too. Has Rob Schneider joined ICE yet?
He is encountered by officers. Now, this is a security camera from the Long Beach Police Department. Next, you'll see body camera video of when they tried to get Hodgson to surrender.
Sidewalk. Hey, don't get on the ground. Sir, get on the ground.
Well, that's a little bit of a fail on that cop's part.
Get on the ground. All right, well, get on the ground. Get on the ground. I'm going to tase him.
They're supposed to yell, "Stop resisting." I thought that's what the cops usually yell. Don't they usually yell, "Stop resisting"?
You fight your
Imagine asking for a phone number while someone is taking a poop.
Get on the ground. I got him.
That's obviously the lengthy struggle that occurred between Hodgson and the Long Beach Police Department. Now, during that struggle, you heard him say, "I'm BP, I'm BP." We believe that to mean...
The fact that these people think, just like with that DHS, that other ICE agent guy, or a guy who claimed he was an ICE agent, I don't even know if he was. The fact that they think that they can just tell cops, "I'm Border Patrol, so don't arrest me. I'm ICE, so don't arrest me," just goes to show you how fucked our legal system is.
In Border Patrol, later when he would be in a patrol car, he began asking for a Border Patrol commander called Greg Bovino. Obviously, they didn't do that at the time, but they did start to go through the gun that they found on him, later found at the tree, which you see right here. When they're talking about the gun, they say it has DHS in front of the serial number, and then officers...
Oh, they're like, "Ah, shit, we did arrest one. That sucks."
On scene quickly learn that he's a Customs and Border Protection agent. Later, when he is at the jail, he is having a conversation with an officer about his work as a CBP agent.
You made a mistake.
No, I made more than one mistake, man. And everybody just hates me here. Do you know how many people...
Dude, can you imagine? Once again, there's nobody that gets talked to like this. No one gets arrested and just gets to fucking talk to police officers like... That dude that got pulled over was shit-faced drunk with his 2 kids in the back driving down the freeway. And when they were putting him in the car, they're like, sir, if you could, sir, please just, like, if you could put your head down, that would be great. You know, we just need you. Could you please? Hey, we don't want to do this right now. Could you just get in the car? Could you please? Like, there is no video that you ever see of average, everyday people being, like, begged politely or told, like, "Yeah, no, we totally understand, man. You went into a women's restroom with your gun and tried to get her phone number. Like, it's all good." Everybody does that. It's a mistake, just an honest mistake.
After over here in Los Angeles, I know. It doesn't mean no, you don't know. You know what the word dox is? DOXXED.
No, what is that?
Doxed. Have you ever had people stand up at your parents' house because you're over here in Los Angeles doing everything, dude? That's the
Doing everything, dude. He can't even say the bad shit that he's done. This is what I'm saying. You can't be part of the Gestapo and then expect anybody to fucking feel bad for you. Like, this is the insanity that we live in nowadays. Like, oh man, like, people don't like me. I thought I was gonna be a hero. I saw that girl at Chili's and I like showed her my ice gun. I was like, yo, like, on the weekends, bro, I go out and grab 15-year-old Mexican girls and throw handcuffs on them and then deport them without due process. And she didn't like that. I don't know. I thought the ladies love that kind of thing. Aw, buddy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you had to be such a fucking douchebag.
I am, dude. There's so many people at LAPD hate us, dude.
Now, Hodgson.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good. That actually, you know what? I don't think I've ever said a nice thing about the LA Police Department. I don't think I ever have said a nice thing about LA Police. I'm about to say it for the first time. Good job, guys. They don't like ICE agents in Los Angeles? I fucking love that. Let's go. All right, LAPD. This will be the first time. First time. Fucking crisp high five, guys.
Would eventually be booked into jail. He was later released, and while he was out on bail awaiting his court hearings, he died in a home in Riverside. Now, the Riverside County coroner has not officially determined his cause of death, but tonight the Long Beach Post, who first posted this video, reports that his attorney said in open court that he died of a drug overdose. His family is expected in court in the coming months because his case has still not officially been closed. They may speak at that hearing, and if they do, we will attempt to be there so long as a judge lets us. Guys.
Yep. So there it is, guys. There it is. You don't have to worry about transgender people. You don't have to worry about people from the LGBT community. You don't have to worry about blue-haired woke liberals dressing up in dresses to try and get in and assault you. But what you do have to worry about is off-duty ICE agents that carry their guns around with them. That is what you actually... To be honest, that lady's just lucky that he didn't go full ICE on her and deport her without due process. I wish I could find some empathy for these people. Yeah, can't. Sorry. All right. What else do we have? Like I said, I haphazardly threw this show together. I was fucking just throwing things at the wall, fucking tossing things up. Okay. Rudy, is that you? Must be the guilt that got him. Can't say I feel bad. Like, dude. Fuck, I need some money. I'm not joining ICE. Fuck that. You know what I'm reading? I'm reading this right here. I'm reading Man's Search for Meaning from Viktor Frankl. And you know, one of the crazy parts about this book is he talks about the Jewish people that were in the camps that became like wardens, and I think they called them campos. They're like security guards, and those people were eventually going to be gassed as well. But during the time that they were alive, they got to, they got perks. They got to do things that other people didn't. They got given cigarettes. There's a whole thing in this about them trading cigarettes for soup and all this crazy stuff. It's a crazy book, and you should read it. It's actually a really, really good book. But one of the really important things about this book, Man's Search for Meaning, is he says, he's like, there's something to like who you become during these times. And he's like, when you're in a concentration camp, no one's a good person because you're all out for yourselves and your loved ones and your friends, right? He's like, so there is no real moral high ground in that fashion that you can sit there and say to yourself, like, you would give equal food to everybody, right? Like, if you're the guy who gives out the soup at the soup line, if your friend comes through, it's their very life, right? So they would call it scooping the bottom. They'd pull up the peas and the potatoes from the bottom of the soup and give them to their friends. And if you were just somebody else, they'd scoop just the water off the top, the soup broth. And he said, so no one in there was exactly like living as like this morally good human being. But there's different levels to that. And it's like the person who might give the peas and potatoes to their friends in the soup is still better than the person that is the camp warden or one of the guards or, one of the guys that whips the Jewish people as they're headed to the work sites. Like, ICE is the equivalent of that. Like, you have a choice. You don't have to be that person. You can choose to say to yourself, yeah, things are fucked up. Yes, my life isn't great right now. Yeah, I need money. But I'm not going to sell out my morals and become part of the Gestapo. And if you do choose to do that, as Franco was pointing out in this book, when you do fall, no one will be sad about it. Sucks for you, bro. So, it's been a really good week. And there's a lot going on. And it's been hard to keep up with all of it. But MAGA is imploding. Like, there's been so many times now that we've kind of got on the channel, did a stream, did some videos or whatever. And we're like, MAGA Civil War, MAGA's really going at it, or MAGA's tearing itself apart. And each time, we've been like, like a week later, we're like, well, they're kind of back at it, cult behavior. But right now, what we are seeing in MAGA is truly, actually, pretty insane. And what we got right now, the story I want to cover first, and we got a couple others to follow this, is Tucker Carlson claims Patel's FBI doesn't want us to know the truth about right-wing Trump shooter Matthew Crooks. It is such a weird... Look, Tucker Carlson, grain of salt, right? Grain of salt. I mean, the dude just the other day had a chemtrails expert on his show. So, grain of salt, anything that Tucker Carlson says. But when Tucker Carlson... When he got fired from Fox News and lost him like $1 billion, did he just say to himself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to fuck everything up. I'm just going to just tear this whole goddamn country down by using conspiracy theories and entertainment news. Like, Tucker Carlson obviously knew the game plan at Fox News, and it feels like what Tucker Carlson is doing right now is just like, he's just gone fucking wild. He is so rogue right now. So it says, more than a year after Thomas Crooks opened fire on Donald Trump during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, one of the most influential figures in conservative media says Trump's handpicked Justice Department leaders are concealing important information about how the 20-year-old would-be assassin got within a rifle's distance of a former president and what motivated him to do so. In an episode of his eponymous podcast released on Friday, Carlson took aim at current FBI Director Kash Patel, his predecessor Christopher Wray, and Patel deputy and ex-Secret Service agent Dan Bongina, each of whom he accuses of concealing key facts about Crooks and the security failures that led him to coming within a quarter inch of making what would have been a fatal shot on Trump. He also broadly impugned the Department of Justice, headed by Attorney General Pam Bondi, which has oversight over the FBI. He said, Thomas Crooks came within a quarter inch of destroying this country, and yet a year and a half later, we still know almost nothing about him or why he did it. That's because for some reason, the FBI, even the current FBI, doesn't want us to know. The former Fox News host continued telling viewers that the Justice Department and FBI have hidden from the public what they know about the would-be assassin, and stating that his report would reveal details of Crooks' social media accounts, while asking why the FBI was keeping his views a secret. He then launches into a surprisingly detailed account of how he and his staff came to possess and authenticate copies of much of Crooks' social media history and online footprint, which he said leads to the conclusion that Crooks was not some secretive lone wolf who never warned anyone, and that he was planning violence. So, Tucker Carlson allegedly, somehow figured out how to get a hold of this footprint that the government said didn't exist. If you guys remember what happened with Matthew Crooks, disappeared from the media in like light speed. Like the dude was there. Everybody's like, holy shit, this crazy thing happened. And then dude was gone. Never to be spoken of again. Anytime anybody asked anything, it was like, oh yeah, he looked at some JFK stuff and, he researched maybe Biden and Trump, but it seems like, he didn't have anything. He was in junior college. That's about it. And then we had like some interviews with some like people that knew him, right? And they're like, yeah, like he's kind of a weird kid, but he's also kind of nice, really like nothing, zero. I mean, we knew with the Charlie Kirk shooter before they even knew who he was that he was transgender. We knew immediately he was a transgender, blue-haired liberal with a nose piercing and had voted for Obama 13 times, and also, he's a communist. We didn't even get that much with Matthew Crooks, right? Like with the Charlie Kirk shooter, they were so fast to make up just random ass shit. They're like, no, you guys don't even know. Like this guy, he's fucking writing secret messages, and they still don't know what a groiper is. It just drives me nuts. After all this time, we're still having to educate them on what a groiper is. Anyway, so Matthew Crooks, apparently, Tucker Carlson found out some stuff. Carlson described how Crooks had left a detailed digital trail of violent threats, including calls for assassinations and political violence against prominent Democrats, and was a Trump supporter who called for dictatorship and for putting Hispanics back in their place before radically turning against Trump in 2020 amid the COVID-19 pandemic. So what he's saying is that this guy was a huge Trump supporter, that he threatened violence against prominent Democrats. He called for dictatorship, and he said that Hispanics need to be put back in their place. I wonder why we didn't hear anything about Matthew Crooks, guys. I wonder why we didn't hear anything about him. That's crazy. That is crazy. Tucker is partially responsible for those idiot Americans moving to Russia on Putin's anti-woke visa. I am obsessed with those families and how idiotic, racist, and bigoted they are. Dude, 100%. And we're going to watch a video in a minute, too, talking about how Fox News has ruined America. So, if we're putting two and two together here. So, he's calling for assassinations of prominent Democrats. He's racist against Hispanics. He called for dictatorship, and then it says he radically turned against Trump in 2020 amid the COVID-19 pandemic. What would you say would be the reason that Matthew Crooks would do that? I know what I would say. I would say because Donald Trump is the godfather of Operation Warp Speed. People continue to forget the quarantines, the masking, the vaccine, all of that started with Donald Trump. Including whether or not we can inject the bleach. We all remember this, okay?
And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do, either through the skin or in some other way.
Yeah. Shoving UV light bulbs up her butts, injecting bleach, drinking aquarium cleaner, taking horse medicine. All of those things came from that era. Why do you think Matthew Crooks turned on him? I guarantee you. It's because of all that stuff. What's happening, Pinkerbell? Carlson described how Crooks had... Oh, sorry. It was an amazing transformation, he said, as he rattled off a series of quotes from Crooks' online history that displayed an increasing affinity for violence and disdain for right-wing media figures such as himself. So here you have a volatile, troubled, possibly mental ill young man with a long record of espousing violence in public. The FBI clearly knew he existed, Carlson said, before explaining that the FBI had entered into contracts for monitoring social media with mass data detection. But he then pivoted to accusing the FBI of having used a selective read of those comments to lie about what Thomas Crook was thinking. He also said the Bureau was not only stonewalling, but is actually preventing an honest look at what happened, in part by refusing to release footage of the gun range where Crooks practiced before attempting to take out Donald Trump, and other evidence, including Crooks' autopsy report, to Congress. He then asked, why did the FBI suggest that he had no digital footprint in the first place when the FBI had a great deal of evidence, hundreds and hundreds of comments, not from his digital activity, and what's on the other dozen accounts that the FBI clearly had access to? If there's nothing there, if they tell you this is just a low nut who gave no indication he might do this, then what is stopping the FBI from at least giving the facts to Congress? Because If there's nothing there, these should be very easy questions to answer. The right-wing podcaster's allegations against the FBI touched off strong pushback from the Bureau's Trump-aligned leadership, which created a so-called rapid response account on Thursday to go after Carlson. It immediately reshared a post by the media figure with a caption, "This FBI has never said Thomas Crooks had no online footprint ever." Oh my God! Guys.
I love the poorly educated.
Guys, don't worry. Don't worry, guys. The FBI has created a rapid response account on X to take care of this. What is this world we live in right now, guys? Why? Why, guys? Why, guys? That's what our FBI does. Our FBI is like, all right, we've got a real situation here, guys. Tucker Carlson is releasing information on a person that potentially tried to take out an ex-president. What should we do? And Kash Patel's like, first of all, we need to get a rapid response account on X immediately. Can we get that cleared with Elon Musk? Oh, this is the dumbest administration that has ever existed in the history of the United States of America. All right. So we're going to stay on the topic of the FBI because I do have, it does turn out I do have most of these videos. It does turn out that I do seem to have most of these videos in the right place. Let's move this one. We're going to move this one up. Okay. Hold on. We're getting there. Yeah, we've got that too. Okay. Nope, that doesn't go there. Oh, that doesn't go there either. Oh, here. Oh. We got news, okay. It was haphazard, guys. I am so sorry. It was very haphazard what I did today. Okay. I think I got everything where I wanted to be now. All right. You guys ready for this? So do you guys know who Ben Shapiro's twin sister is? Have you guys seen Ben Shapiro's twin sister? Not actual twin sister, but dude, she looks just like him. I'm not shitting you. Her name is Brett Cooper, and she used to be on the Daily Wire. Okay, so Brett Cooper used to be on the Daily Wire, and you can't convince me that it's not Ben Shapiro wearing a wig. All right, pretty sure it's just Ben Shapiro cross-dressing. Sorry, Brett Cooper. All right. First of all, I don't think she's a bad person, and I feel bad saying that about Brett Cooper. To be honest, I take that back. I'm sorry for that. that was mean. Because she doesn't seem. I mean, for a person who most likely voted for Donald Trump, she doesn't seem like a bad person. That's my bar right now. Okay. So Brett Cooper, guys. Brett Cooper also had some words for one Kash Patel.
When you run on transparency, when you run on...
Okay. So Brett Cooper here. Here, let's just see if we can go to the actual video. Let's just do that. That way we don't have to see it in small screen. Let's do big screen. Okay. So Brett Cooper started calling out Kash Patel. Amazing.
So when you run on transparency, when you run on ending government bloat, it should not surprise you when Americans call out your hypocrisy and your inability to make significant change, and that is exactly what is happening right now with Kash Patel. Show logo, all that fun stuff.
So, and you guys see what's going on here, and I actually think this is a good thing. I know that some of you guys are going to disagree with me, but I would love to get back to a point where the main, argument and contention is, how to fix the immigration system. I would love to get back to a point where we could talk about whether or not the government actually uses our money in the correct way, right? Those are the things that I want to get back to arguing about. I want to argue with actual conservatives, with actual libertarians about real policy and not the insane, nutsy shit that we've been dealing with for so long. And so, and this could go one of two ways right now. It could either lean into what they're calling the America First Party, which I believe Brett Cooper here is she's either joined it or she's leaning towards it. it could go towards that, which is all of these people that are like, what happened with Trump was we wanted Trump to do this thing, and he claimed he was going to do all these things, and now we're upset that he didn't do these things. Also, we're pretty sure that he knew Epstein and he knew of Epstein's crimes. That seems to be the America First platform, right? The other way that this could go is the meme lords take over, the Groypers, Nick Fuentes, the Groypers, nothing but memes and doxing. I don't see that actually happening because I don't know if you guys know this, but just recently MAGA found out that Nick Fuentes, as a white nationalist, happens to be 25% Hispanic, and they didn't like that at all. They didn't like that at all. So I'm actually okay with Brett Cooper, and I'm okay with Brett Cooper going this route. I would rather see MAGA tear itself apart and become more of an America First party that wants to argue about policy and taxes and immigration and things that we can actually argue over, rather than see Groypers meme posting from the White House. Not that it would look much different than it does today, because we practically have a Groyper for a president right now. But anyways, so this is going to be Brett Cooper talking about Kash Patel.
So in case you haven't heard, Kash Patel has been getting absolutely raked over the coals by people online after they started tracking his personal use of his FBI jet, which is only adding fuel to the fire against him, which has been raging for many months at this point. And there was a way for Kash to handle this and address the outrage, and there was a way that he absolutely...
Was there a way for him to address this? Because I really don't think so. Using your private privilege to a taxpayer-funded airplane to go hang out with your girlfriend at a wrestling show, and then using it to apparently go to the Boondoggle Ranch, which I did not Google, okay? I don't think that's a good idea. I don't want to Google anything that says boondoggle. I don't think there is a good way that you can spin this.
Should not have handled it. And can you guess which option he chose? Now, before we dive into that, make sure that you like this video, subscribe.
Wait, did you say she is Zac Efron and Selena Gomez's child? Is that real, Mitchell? Are you messing with me right now?
Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and of course, ring that notification bell to make sure you stay up to date on all of our episodes. All right, so let's just dive right into this. So last week, this is what really set people off. Last week, it came out that Kash Patel used his private FBI jet to hop on over to Pennsylvania to see his girlfriend sing the national anthem at a wrestling event. And then he flew the...
Okay, I thought she wrestled. I was picturing Kash Patel with one of those big foam #1 fingers up front, just fucking get her. I thought that, okay, she sung the national anthem. Okay, and you guys know that MAGA at one point, so she's a country music singer. MAGA at one point started tossing around a conspiracy theory that she was a honeypot Mossad agent. This world is so fucking crazy right now. Like, you can't, like, nothing is safe, dude. When the conspiracy theorist got a hold of the microphone, that's when everything started going downhill, man.
Jet to Nashville, where she lives. Now, his girlfriend is country singer Alexis Wilkins. There's been a lot of controversy about them and their relationship because she is in the public eye. She kind of works in conservative spaces. She's like a conservative country singer. Anyway.
No. Tell the story. Tell the story. Talk about the Mossad stuff. Brett Cooper doesn't want to go there.
All of this came out. It went viral on X, and there was immediate backlash. And I think the people are already on edge with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, to be honest, because they expected more from these men. These men were podcasters. They both talked big game.
Okay. Let me stop you there. Young She Shapiro, okay? What did somebody say? Fim Shapiro? Let me stop you there, Fim Shapiro. You said the words "we were expecting a lot more from these people," and then followed it up by saying they were podcasters. This is exactly what the fuck is wrong with this country. All right? If you followed up the words we were expecting a lot from them with the words they were podcasters. That tells me everything I need to know about you voting. Like, just let's not allow people that say those words to vote. I know that's a slippery slope. But if you were like sitting there and you're like, man, these podcasters are going to get into the FBI and really get some shit done, I think it's appropriate for us to tell you you don't get to vote anymore, okay?
And they've come into this administration and nothing really has happening. They wanted more transparency, they wanted more action, and that simply has not happened. And so seeing Cash allegedly just jet-setting around to see his girlfriend does not help with his public image with the MAGA base, with the conservative movement in general, especially when we are on the 37th day of a government shutdown with federal employees have been furloughed.
Oh, this is an old video.
Last thing Americans want to see is a government employee jet-setting.
Cash is like, fuck your food stamps. I'm flying to Tennessee to see my girlfriend sing the national anthem. Poor people.
Around on their private plane. Like, the optics are just absolutely terrible. But guys, that was not even the final straw. The final straw in this story was that after people started talking about where he was flying and why, which is all public information, as it should be, because we the taxpayers are, footing that bill, Cash requested, he had the audacity to request that the government shut down public tracking of his plane. I mean, I thought that we were the transparent administration.
This motherfucker turned his location off. Oh my god, dude. Can you imagine when Cash Patel got back? He's seeing that shit pop on Twitter. He's like, what? How do all these people know where I've been? His girlfriend's like, you didn't turn your location off? I don't think you should be able to, like, if you're flying around on a plane that's paid for with my tax dollars, I think you need to leave the location on the airplane, okay? I don't think you get to just use the airplane to fucking fly it in and out, okay, brother? Like, I don't think that that's acceptable. And I thought that we were the fucking Doge presidency. What happened to waste, fraud, and corruption? Oh, yeah, they were the waste fraud. Oh, I forgot. My bad.
I thought that that's what you were running on. You wanted everything exposed. You wanted the Epstein list revealed. You wanted everything about JFK revealed. But oh no, Americans who are footing the bill, we can't see where you are flying on your private jet. And then on top of that, Cash literally fired the FBI official, Stephen Palmer.
That's not sus. That's not sus at all. Look, I'm all for this. Look, I'm sure Brett Cooper did vote for Donald Trump, but I'd be willing to extend a olive branch of friendship if Brett Cooper could explain to me how much she regrets her vote for Donald Trump. That's all I'm saying.
Who is in charge of aviation security, allegedly, because people found out where he was going and what he was doing, and because of that, somebody had to get cut. Bloomberg Law wrote about this, and they said
Did they? No, like, once again, like, what are you talking about, man? Someone didn't need to get cut. Like, you don't get caught flying your girlfriend around and then go back and then fire those people. Like, that's double. You're following a negative with a negative.
FBI forced out a senior official overseeing aviation shortly after Director Cash Patel grew outraged, that's what they said, outraged about revelations of his publicly available jet logs indicating that he'd flown to see his musician girlfriend perform, said 3 people familiar with the situation. Stephen Palmer, a 27-year veteran of the FBI, became the 3rd head of the Critical Incident Response Group, which includes FBI pilots, to be fired or removed in Patel's short regime. They go on to say that Patel was angered this week by social media posts and news stories calling attention to his use of an FBI jet that arrived in State College, Pennsylvania, where his girlfriend and country music artist Alexis Wilkins sang the national anthem at a wrestling match, said the individuals who spoke anonymously out of fear of retaliation. Palmer was told he needed to immediately resign or be fired, which the individuals said was at least partially connected to Patel's fury over the negative media cycle over his personal travel. Okay, now I'm sitting here, I'm racking my brain. Like, how is this Stephen Palmer's fault? Because he was not being proactive in trying.
See, this is what I don't like. And I don't know, guys. Like, there's left-wing people that do this, there's right-wing people that do this. But right now, the disassociation from reality that comes from, like, Brett Cooper here doesn't sound like she's unintelligent, right? sounds like a pretty intelligent person. What do you mean when you say that you can't figure out how this person is at fault? What do you mean by that? That's like when people say they don't understand. When Megyn Kelly the other day, Megyn Kelly says, I don't understand why Trump just didn't share these Epstein emails first. Like, it is so fucking weird to watch all of these people, some of them pretty fucking intelligent, sit here and say, I just don't get why that guy would get fired. Why is he the one that's being held accountable? Like, what do you mean? Just say what you're saying. Say it. Say Kash Patel fired a dude because he got busted for flying the plane and he needed somebody to take the fall and it wasn't going to be him. And he thought if he just sacrificed this random fucking FBI guy that MAGA would be like, oh, all right, well, they fired some of the deep state, so I'm happy again. And to be honest with you, there are a bunch of dipshit MAGA cult members, the only ones that left, because like I said, this whole movement is just burning to the ground right now, right? It is just like self-destruction on an epic level right now. But it's proving that certain people will never leave MAGA. Like, it doesn't matter. Megyn Kelly's out there saying that Jeffrey Epstein may not have been a pedo because he like 15-year-olds, not 5-year-olds, guys. And dude, I even saw this meme today that was like, get ready for MAGA to start trying to explain to you the difference between a pedo and a hebephile. And I was like, dude, please don't do this. Please don't do this. I can only take so much insanity. I'm like, let's not have that argument, please. But that is where they're going. That is where they're going, guys. It's just insane to watch. She just needs, like if you're an intelligent person, and she seems like she's a smart person, just, I know you were with this dude.
Yeah, you effing with some wet-ass P-word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass P-word. Give me everything you got for this wet-ass P-word. P-word. P-word is female genitalia.
I mean, I recognize that that's like her mentor, all right? I do recognize that dude right there was her mentor. So I get it. I understand it. But she seems like she's not dumb. It just seems like she's bullshitting. Stop bullshitting, Brett.
To hide the fact that you were flying to see your girlfriend, that he didn't protect you from the media spin, the media cycle, whatever is going on, like the fact that he didn't just instinctively do that for you when all of that is usually public information, as it should be. All of that information should be out in the open, unlike your guns, which is why you need stop box. Now, if you own a handgun like me for self...
That's not enough of that. We'll stop there. For Brett Cooper, sell somebody some guns that will later be used by one child to harm another. Brett. Well, I guess she is. Hold on. She is selling storage for said. Okay. Actually, my bad, Brett. My bad. She's selling the boxes. It's not as bad, I guess. Like I said, she's like one step better. She's like one step better. What is Ben's fear of moisture? Get that one more time.
Yeah, you effing with some wet-ass P-word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass P-word. Give me everything you got for this wet-ass P-word. P-word. P-word is female genitalia.
And then we gotta play this.
Who explains sexual harassment to you and me? Sexual harassment.
All right. So, I've been telling you guys about this conservative guy, and I've been telling you guys that that there's obviously been some real breakdowns on the right now, some real breakdowns going on, and I tell you guys, I like to go and watch conservative stuff to see where their heads are at, what they're thinking, like what's the argument. Now he's a hebephile, he's not a pedophile, like all of that shit. I want to know that before, because sometimes, look, you will get stun locked by the stupidity of a MAGA supporter, okay? Like, if you're not ready for a MAGA supporter, and they come in and you're like, well, you know that Donald Trump is all over the Jeffrey Epstein files, and they hit you with a, dude, he like 15-year-olds, not 5-year-olds. You're like, what? He like 15-year-olds, not 5-year-olds. Wait, how is that? Hold on. Why? The stupidity will stun lock you. So I like to watch my my conservative, but I do feel that I have to find ones that aren't like the dumbest human beings on earth, and that's a hard one. That's a hard one. So I do watch Heavy Duty Country. I do actually agree with quite a bit of the things Heavy Duty Country says about Palestine shouldn't be bombed. I do agree with him, when he's calling out Trump, the Epstein files, the weirdness of the Charlie Kirk shooter thing, like how it doesn't seem like that's the dude. Like, and so this is what I've always said is like, and people, I'm not in a party. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't claim to be an independent either. Even I don't like parties. I like hanging out with my left-wing people because you guys are good human beings. You're empathetic, and we share way more in common than I do with any other conservative. But I've said before, like, I am pro-Second Amendment, but I'm also, 100% like background checks, red flag laws, people that are under investigation for domestic violence shouldn't be allowed access to firearms. 2 women per day are killed in domestic violence incidents involving guns. I believe that if your gun is left in a place where a child gets a hold of it and uses it to commit violence, you should be held accountable for any of the crimes that child commits. But, I do have things that, like normal conservatives, we'd agree upon. So I like to watch Heavy Duty Country, and I send you guys over there to watch them too. I tell you guys all the time that he will trigger you over his opinions on trans people and other weird shit or other shit he finds weird. Like I don't agree with him on any of that stuff. But recently, I was like always trying to figure out a way. I'm like, I gotta like show some of the shit this dude says. So I always want to fuck with you guys. I always want to play like his opinions on Palestine, and then be like, you guys like this guy? Just to get you guys into the trap, because that's how I was like, actually, this guy's got some based opinions on that they shouldn't be blowing up Gaza. That's pretty good, actually. And then he was like, now the transgender thing, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. No, I know, never mind. So anyways, I've been trying to figure out a way to like play some of this stuff, and then I just saw this today, and it's a Dark Brandon video. Me and Dark Brandon are both watching Heavy Duty Country. Oh, guys. You guys ready for this? Here it is. So this is Heavy Duty Country has broken up with MAGA. Like I said, the guy's got... He fucking hits a dart every once in a while.
Folks, hope you're doing well today. Yesterday was a very interesting day on YouTube. There was just an overwhelming wave of commentators on the right really speaking out against Trump. There's a lot to be unhappy about, from 50-year mortgages to hosting ISIS on Veterans Day in the White House.
Yeah, and don't forget the 15-year car loans. He wants to do 15-year car loans.
Also, there was just a really bad interview he did with Laura Ingraham where he puts his foot in his mouth 6 different ways to Sunday.
Yeah, we have no qualified workers here. Got to H-1B some people in here because Americans are stupid, okay?
I love the poorly educated.
But it really looks like there's some cracks in the foundation. And I mean, here, let's just take a look at some of these video titles. This is Brett Cooper, formerly of the Daily Wire.
Yeah,
That's Ben Shapiro's network. She recently
Dark
went
Brandon.
on her own. She was seeing a lot of success. She recently aligned with Nick Fuentes and has been taking a lot of heat from the right.
No, wait, that's not the video I watched, though. That's a different video. That's the 50-year mortgages video.
And that's maybe why she's going so harsh with this video, where she says, is MAGA...
Dude, I love that Dave Ramsey is in this. I was like, when he said 50-year house mortgages and 15-year car loans, I was like, dude, Dave Ramsey he's like developing an ulcer right now.
dead. 50-year mortgages aren't the American dream. or this one from the Quartering. And don't worry, we're not going to make you watch his videos, but I'm sure you could all just
you.
probably doing the head twitch right.
Yeah, look, I will tell you guys a couple people that you can go watch if you just want to see what conservatives are talking about that aren't 100% completely fucking brain dead. The Quartering is not one of them. The Quartering is not one of them.
Now, Donald Trump's massive backlash. We didn't vote for this and send them all back. And here we can see MAGA is not happy.
Yeah, I like what John just said because this is something that I've explained too. John said, I was transphobic until I met somebody who is trans. The person is such a delight. As it turns out, I wasn't afraid of trans. I was scared of what I didn't know. And that's what I've told people before. I actually grew up with a person that was trans when I was really small. It was a biological woman transitioning to a male. And that person was always really nice to me. So I would never say I was like transphobic. I grew up with lots of gay people in my life. I grew up with a trans person. When I first started doing content creation on YouTube, I did it with transgender people as well. And but my opinions of that kind of shit were always bad. Like they weren't transphobic, but they're bad, right? Like, you know, like, well, what do you think? You know, a person like this, you know, can they do this? Can they do that? No, they shouldn't do that. Why? Because I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with that. And you know, one of the most important things I ever did was to spend time talking. One of my mods from a bit ago, probably a year ago, Jess was transgender, and Jess said, you know, emailed me and said, hey, if you have any questions about anything to do with transgenderism, please like hit me up. And I was like, oh, okay. So I asked a couple questions. They answered those questions, and I was really surprised by their answers, to be honest with you. And then, you know, I also, like I said, I have a friend named Neve, who's trans that I greatly respect and thought she was an awesome person. And then, you know, I went down this rabbit hole of NIH studies on gray matter and trans brains, and also, you know, just watching content from trans content creators. And, you know, I agree 100% with what John said, is that, like, I don't think I ever was like, I didn't ever hate trans people, and I didn't fear, or I wasn't mean to trans people, but I definitely didn't understand. And I don't think today I understand, right? I think, you know, it's an education process. And I think that a lot of trans people also, you know, are, you know, learning right along with us who they are and what makes them feel comfortable and stuff. And that's why I like being on the left, is because I like hanging out with you guys, because I think all of you guys provide the empathetic path to learning about things that make you uncomfortable, and that can lead to education that makes you a better person in the long run. Whereas on the right, obviously, if you ever were to say something like, well, actually, I don't think transgender people are like bad people or anything like that. Like, oh, you want women going in bathrooms and men dressing up as women going in bathrooms? No, I'm worried about ICE agents going in women's bathrooms, actually.
Happy in the thumbnail. Next here we see from Valhalla. The title of the video is Trump Spits in Global War on Terror Veteran Faces on Veterans Day, hosting the Al-Qaeda leader in the White House.
That is crazy.
Or here
that
with this
crazy.
video by Heavy Duty Country titled Trump Just Pissed in Every American's Face. And it's great. Heavy Duty starts the video by taking the question, is he still MAGA? Let's take a look.
So I've gotten a couple of people recently asking me, Dan, are you a Republican still? Are you still MAGA? Do you still love Trump? Because for a long time there, I was one of Trump's biggest fans. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. And to answer it as simply as I can, I believe that everybody has a chance at redemption. But as of right now, Trump fucking sucks.
Okay, so there you have it. Trump fucking sucks. And keep in mind, this is before the Epstein files yesterday were released. So these people were already coming in hot at Trump. And now there's a bunch of evidence putting him even closer to Epstein.
I'm just going to say it. Trump fucking sucks. He's not doing a good job at pretty much everything. And I don't know if y'all remember, but back when the Epstein stuff was going on, and my God, we got to cover that here in a second as well, but he resorted to manipulation tactics or gaslighting. to where he said, if you're still asking about the Epstein stuff, then you're not one of my supporters. And so naturally, a lot of people were like, okay, fuck you then. I'm not one of your supporters then. I wasn't. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. But now after seeing this, brother, what are you doing? You really need to figure out what you think you're doing, because your ratings on the amount of people that voted for you versus how many people think you're doing a shit job is crazy. I think your approval rating is at 30%. And those people probably just don't watch anything and think that you're doing an okay job.
Okay, so if Donald Trump watches Heavy Duty Country or watches this, fingers crossed, I think what Heavy Duty said there would really trigger him. He didn't say polls. He said ratings. And that's what Donald Trump cares most about, is his ratings.
Approval
Old
ratings,
terminology that used to be used when they talked about his show, The Apprentice, still talks about it today. So to say your ratings suck is just an incredibly powerful blow.
One of the promises that Trump made was that he was going to have the biggest mass deportation ever. He has very much failed at doing that. But at the same time, he has brought in 600,000 Chinese people to go to our universities. So we've been deporting, a decent amount of people, not the numbers that Trump thought he was going to do. But then we just bring a different immigration type of thing back. Listen to this bullshit. This is spitting in the face of Americans. By the way, he said that we have to, because Americans, they aren't good enough.
You've said as many as 600,000 Chinese students could come to the United States. Why, sir, is that a pro-MAGA position when so many American kids want to go to school and there are places not for them, and these universities are getting rich off Chinese money?
Sure. Never said about China, but we do have a lot of people coming in from China. We always have, China and other countries. We also have a massive system of colleges and universities. And if we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
Well, I think that's a big deal.
Oh my God, I'm shocked. Wait a second. The billionaire con artist who has a history of repeatedly lying didn't actually care about you guys? Only if somebody told you. Not only.
No. You're so wrong, Dark Brandon. There's videos of him shaking people's hands and kissing babies and like hugging people and stuff like that. That means he's a good person, right? Doesn't that mean that he's a good person? Because serial killers are really easy to spot by the fact that they walk around announcing that they're serial killers. Conmen, very easy to spot conmen because they always tell you that they're conmen. They definitely don't smile in your face and stab you in the back. That would be crazy.
If somebody dedicated all their time making a bunch of silly fucking cartoons just to let you know, hey, this guy's gonna fuck you over. And guess what? You got fucked over, Heavy Duty. Wake the fuck up.
We'll be in a war. I stopped 8 wars in the last 9 months. I don't want to be in wars.
Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? We just bombed Iran. Israel has been in a war for I don't know how long that Netanyahu's going to court over right now. I don't know. It kind of seems like he's not all there anymore.
If I am in a war, we're going to win the thing fast and it'll be violent. But you know what? I don't want to be in wars. But one thing, you don't want to cut half of the people, half of the students from all over the world that are coming into our country, destroy our entire university and college system. I don't want to do that.
I wouldn't lose any.
And don't forget, MAGA was my idea. MAGA was nobody else's idea. I know what MAGA wants better than anybody else.
Wait, wasn't MAGA Reagan's idea? Didn't Reagan make the Make America Great Again thing? Didn't it come from Reagan? Am I wrong about that?
And MAGA wants to see our country thrive.
Oh, good. So now MAGA means let's keep all of these universities open so that we can have other people from other countries, not America, other countries.
Yeah, the dude's name is Heavy Duty Country.
Come to our colleges. That's what MAGA is? MAGA? Well, I ain't MAGA. I'm America first. And this is crap.
Okay. And so we just saw it happen, right? Heavy Duty Country just said he is leaving MAGA and now becoming America first. So what does that mean? So let's do a little bit of history here. The original America First movement took place in 1940. And the purpose of it was to try to keep the U.S. out of World War II. The movement...
Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys know America was actually like pro-Hitler at the very beginning. And when I say America, I mean its citizens. So when Hitler was doing everything he was doing, America just came out of the First World War, and they didn't want to get involved in the Second World War because even though people scream for blood and talk about how, America is the best in the world and all this stuff, the moment that you get into a war and people start dying, people start regretting that choice, that decision, and they start backtracking on it, right? And so that's actually why you also, saw the backlash against us being involved in Ukraine and everything else is because, people still, I know it was in the 90s, but people still remembered going into Iraq. And so it caused this really anti-war sentiment. And so people were actually giving Hitler a pass and being like, hey, that's his problem, ours. In fact, America was so pro-Hitler at one point when Winston Churchill was begging Roosevelt for help in England because they had been bombed for something I think it was 56 days straight, night and day, or was it just night? I think it was just at night. And people were sleeping in the subways and stuff. And so he was trying to get Roosevelt in. And of course, America was doing what America always does. Instead of helping, we were sending them weapons. And so there's this really iconic photo of Winston Churchill in a pinstripe suit. And he has his Tommy gun because we sent over a bunch of Tommy guns to Winston Churchill. And somebody said, hey, can we take a picture of you? And he said, yeah, of course. So he's got his cigar, he's got his hat, he's got his pinstripe suit. He looks like a mafia figure. So they take a picture of him, and the Germans, they recognize America doesn't want to be involved in a war. They recognize that America is at least slightly pro-Hitler as far as citizenry go. So they airdrop all these pamphlets of Winston Churchill with his Tommy gun and a pinstripe suit, and he totally looks like a mob figure, and it backfired on him because during that time, mafia movies were becoming really, really popular in America, and people actually looked at Churchill as being like, wow, that guy's actually pretty fucking cool. Maybe we should help.
It was really about isolation and anti-intervention, sprinkled with just a little bit of anti-Semitism on top. Trump really...
Oh, thank you, Damon. Damon, you are my hero, Damon. Reagan's saying was make America great, but not again. Okay, so Trump's like, I added an A. I called it make America great again.
Brought it back to life in 2015 and 2016, making it part of his campaign slogans. Today, people like the Groypers are redefining the term and really try to have it be separate from the ideas of MAGA. So,
dude, heavy duty country. If he finds out who Nick Fuentes is, if he's able to make the connection between Groypers and Charlie Kirk's killing too, holy Jesus! You want to talk about just an absolute shattering of that party? If that's what they do with America First, if Nick Fuentes actually becomes the face of America First, you're not going to be able to hold that together because guys like heavy duty country. Like I said, he might have some bad opinions on LGBT folk, but he's more of a real, actual, traditional conservative, right? He's not going to be happy to find out that a bunch of meme lords are trying to take over the country. You know what I'm saying?
When people talk about America First, they're talking about a white demographic dominance, a Christian nationalist theocracy, anti-Semitism, which is usually packaged as not Israel first, a real anti-Israel stance, and total rejection of mainstream conservatism. And this is the part where we have to say, hey, Israel's a shithead and they've done a bunch of shitty things, and or else they're going to try to tell us that we're part of this Israel movement and shit. We're not. We're just exploring all these ideas honestly. So, in the end, the breakups are real. We're seeing them happen here in real time. The question becomes, does America First become a more extreme movement than MAGA?
And that's what I was saying is I think right now what we're seeing is two diverging paths. It's either going to end up being America first, like the actual idea of America first, where, you know, like I said, I can sit down and I can talk to or debate somebody that just wants to say that they don't think our money should be going to foreign wars. Like you know, some of those times I'm going to agree. Like with Israel, I don't think that we should be sending Israel money. Ukraine, obviously, I think that we should be sending money to Ukraine. There's, you know, do I like USAID? I believe USAID is a good thing. I believe it's the only way to build good faith capital. I think that's the best type of soft power that the United States of America, and I think we get better from USAID than we give out. So, like, I can sit with a person and argue with them over whether or not something like USAID is a good thing or a bad thing without having this, like, you know, polarization, right? Like, I can walk away from that conversation just being like, well, I just don't agree with that person. So there's these two diverging paths where if it's that type of America first, where it's just traditional conservatism, where I'm always going to be adversarial to because they're not pro-choice, and that's always going to be a deal breaker for me. But I can talk about taxes, I can talk about immigration issues, we can talk about, you know, government transparency, foreign wars. I'm okay with that because that's good for America. That's, you know, you need two sides to debate, you know, the evils of either policy prescription. But if it turns into meme lord Nick Fuentes, Groyper, white nationalist shit, that's actually probably worse than MAGA because it's just brain rot. It's just absolute brain rot. It's just for the fucking shits and giggles. It's just for the lulz, you know? So, God, let's hope it doesn't go down that route. Let's hope this is the last iteration of idiocracy. Roger Ailes was the first person to put the again on. Okay, all right. Mama Brooke, always bringing it, Mama Brooke. MTG released her own Epstein list. I would like to, I need to see that. So actually, you know, let's watch this because this is a shorter video. And I want to talk about this, and I got to make sure I get through at least the majority of these videos. I just threw so many up here. So just recently, you know, with everything that's happening, so you've got Heavy Duty Country leaving. You've got Brett Cooper. I keep saying that's her name, right? I'm just going to call her Fem Shapiro. We got Fem Shapiro. We got Heavy Duty Country. We got the Pondering. We got Tucker Carlson. All of these people. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Every one of them, like, you know, they're done with Trump. They're fracturing the movement. The Epstein list emails are coming out. You know, emails talking about pictures of Trump with girls in bikinis, Trump walking into a glass door while he's staring at women in Epstein's pool, emails where girls are talking about being afraid that Trump will be in Epstein's house while he's gone and not wanting to go in and see him there. We've got, you know, Epstein saying that he could take down Donald Trump at any time. So much coming out right now against Donald Trump, including the most amazing Bill Clinton, Donald Trump memes that I have ever seen in my entire life. It is the golden age of memery right now. But people should not get this twisted. Because people have said to me like a couple times now, they're like, so what do you think? Like, what do you think's going to happen? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do I think is going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. Donald Trump is not going anywhere. Donald Trump, the best we could hope for is that Donald Trump just becomes ineffective, right? Like, he's probably going to end up destroying 75% of the White House and erecting statues and putting up shitty patios with bad patio furniture on it. That's inevitable. But, you know, as far as like burning down the goddamn country, like, we've got to hope that he's ineffective at breaking the American government. You know, that's where we have to be. And then we have to hope to get a blue Congress in 2026, blue House, blue Senate, and potentially get him impeached. And if not impeached, then, and I, just so you guys know, I 100% believe he should just be impeached. But if you don't get him impeached, at least, you know, have to stonewall anything else that he does to just mitigate the damage. But if you think Donald Trump's going to jail anytime soon, it's not fucking happening. If you think Donald Trump is going to, be removed by his own people, it's not going to happen. And if you think Donald Trump is going to lose the 20 to 25% of Republicans that are hardcore MAGA cult members, it's not going to happen. Those are all just things that, like, they sound good and they sound like what should happen because that would be the logical things that happen, but they're not going to. And recently, Jon Stewart was actually asked this question, and I want to hear Jon Stewart's. I wanted to hear Jon Stewart's take on this because I'm going to imagine Jon Stewart has an opinion that's very similar to mine. This is Jon Stewart on the Jon Stewart Show, and I believe a fan asked this question.
If Trump were to be in the Epstein files, and that's a very big if.
I'm sorry, if. Did they not look at the emails today? When did they ask this question? If he said he was going to sue, that's when when Trump comes out, he says, I'm going to sue Rupert Murdoch for insinuating that it's. When was the last time you heard about that lawsuit? It's gone. Yep. It's gone because he's in it.
Yes. Do you think he would lose any support?
No.
Really? It's really.
Okay, that's a little different than what I'm saying. I wonder if he's saying no, none at all. I do think, obviously he's lost some support. He's lost MTG. He's lost multiple content creators. Tucker Carlson, I don't know that he's actually lost Tucker Carlson.
Hard to imagine.
Do you guys, Jillian, you think he might?
Yeah, I feel like if there was like we already have hit the threshold where it should be disqualifying. With so many things with him, it's like,
Dude, we hit the threshold in 2017.
What else would you need to see? This guy was one of his best friends. There's photos of them together. There's videos of them together.
Is he going to get too sick to serve and Vance take over? I think that's so like I said, I've always said this since Trump won the election in 2024. I said, the biggest problem here that people continue to miss is that Donald Trump is not the main character. Donald Trump is the symptom of a disease. He is not the disease itself. He's a huge symptom. He's a metastatic cancer, but he's not the disease. And the real disease is waiting in the wings behind him. And, that's Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, Curtis Yarvin, Project 2025. We watched that J-Reg video where he talks about the different political groups surrounding Donald Trump. And when you look at how many different groups surround Donald Trump, you get the idea that there's no real cohesion in all those groups, but they're all scary in a different way, right? So then you throw in Nick Fuentes into the ring as well, and you worry about whether or not RFK Jr. Could run for president, whether or not Elon Musk puts all his money behind somebody like J.D. Vance, which since they're both friends with Peter Thiel, that would make sense. And since Curtis Yarvin is Peter Thiel's house philosopher, I think the plan was always to get Donald Trump into office. Donald Trump either dies in office and J.D. Vance gets to be president, or Donald Trump, serves his term and creates a unwinnable position for Democrats by rigging the system, so that way J.D. Vance wins in 2028. That's, in my opinion, that's been the plan the whole time. So I think either way, J.D. Vance is their end game. V Media
ogling at young women, we've seen what we need to see. So I don't know what else could possibly.
That's right.
Push the needle here.
I have seen more pictures of them together than with some of my best friends. They have more of a scrapbook with each other.
Oh yeah, 100%. There are more pictures of Jeffrey Epstein with Donald Trump than there are of me with my family. It's insane. There is so much evidence. This is what I keep saying is the one thing I had to say was when Heavy Duty Country said, fuck Donald Trump, he sucks. I was finally, a Republican that's no, I'm not going to sit here and beat around the bush. This guy sucks. And I was fucking finally. It's been just for so long now, listening to people go, well, he might be in the files. What the fuck do you mean? These all over 1,600 of the 2,300 emails mention Donald Trump that was just released.
Then many of the people that I'm great friends with.
But here's the thing. How do the Republicans spin this? Like, how does he get out of this?
The way he gets out, like I've always said, it's Wile E. Coyote versus the Roadrunner. And every time we keep thinking 34 felonies, that'll get him. Oh my God, that thing he said on Access Hollywood. And every time Trump just comes in and goes, meep, meep, and flies away. And I think it's the same thing. You could have it could be the pictures of him and illegal sex trafficked women from Epstein in a like forced human caterpillar or Ouroboros, and they'd find a way to say, well, but Hunter Biden's laptop was, worse and Burisma and it's fake and none of it ever happened. Jillian's exactly right. Everything we need to know about it is real, is that it is plausible because of the relationship that they had. That wasn't his like softball buddy. That was his international model buddy. That's what they did together. They weren't bingo friends. They weren't backgammon friends. They didn't play pickleball. They played tickleball.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I shouldn't have.
I saw there was a joke there. I'm glad he made it.
Just came to me as I was talking about it.
Yeah, and he's right. You already see it. I've already fielded a couple comments, and I don't know if it's just MAGA posing to be more centrist or whether or not it's just a centrist. But, I've had people say on some of my videos, my Epstein videos about the emails, they'll say, well, I don't like Donald Trump, and I do think he's in the files, but couldn't those emails be fake? That's going to be the move. Donald Trump said it in that fucking White House press conference where he was like, maybe if something really bad happens, I'll just say it was AI. Donald Trump, he just says the shit to your face that he's going to do. I don't know how many times this has to happen for people to pick up on this, is that Donald Trump says what he's thinking. That's the one thing that you have to give the dude, is he's honest. He's the most honest person that has ever lived, because he lies. He's a shitty person. He's underhanded. He does messed up things to people, but he generally just tells you he's going to do it. When he's lying, he lies about dumb shit, or he lies because I think he believes the things that people tell him. But most of the time, Donald Trump just tells you what he's going to do. And that's what he's going to do. He's just going to say that these emails were a Democratic hoax. It sounds stupid to any of us out there that have a fully functioning frontal lobe. All of us are like, that doesn't make any sense at all. That's crazy. I said to this person, I said, first of all, Donald Trump is a prodigious liar. Of course he's going to say that these are fake. But also, Donald Trump is a prodigious litigator. He has been sued over 4,000 times in his 30 years as a business owner. He is a professional at stalling. He's a professional at getting lawsuits thrown out of court. And he's a professional at suing people. And yet, he's not suing any of these people. You go, that right there should tell you that those emails are real. And the fact that you guys are already trying this fucking, well, what if the emails are fake bullshit? It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Because you've literally been beaten over the head with the evidence that Donald Trump was friends with Epstein and has done nefarious shit, whether it was with Epstein or just what we've seen as him as a president. And still you say, well, I don't know, man. What if the emails are fake, though? Jesus Christ. All right, what else? Oh, yeah, we got to get MTG stuff. Okay. We have to do the MTG stuff. I can't forget to do this. So you guys know that Marjorie Taylor Greene currently has fallen out of favor with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is now very angry. Very, very angry. And I think, what did he say? He said Marjorie Taylor Greene, green grass turns brown when it rots. I'm like, what the is going on, guys? What is going on in our country right now? And why am I agreeing with anything that Marjorie Taylor Greene says? Dude, I saw Jasmine Crockett say that, like, she thought that Marjorie Taylor Greene got brainwashed and gaslit by Trump, and that she was willing to forgive her. And I was like, all right, well, my queen's really willing to, I guess so. Like, if Jasmine Crockett's willing to say that we can forgive, I'll think about it. But I'm not sure I can go that route. I don't know if I'll ever be able to, like, forget all the crazy ass stuff that Marjorie Taylor Greene has said. Dude, she's, like, said some of the wackiest shit ever. She was straight up QAnon. Anyway, so Donald Trump, very mad at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Why? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene says we should release the Epstein files. And people are literally saying, like, you would ruin Trump's presidency by releasing the Epstein files. And it's like, oh, okay, so why? That's my main question. My main question is why would that ruin his presidency? Inquiring minds would like to know. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course, is like actually standing on business, and she's like, no, like, I don't give a shit. Like, in fact, when she went on The View, when she was on The View, she was saying, like, she's like, no, I still love Donald Trump, and, like, you know, like, he still loves me. That wasn't true. That wasn't true. All right. So here we go. This is apparently President Trump withdrawing his support for Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I don't know. What was she even running for? She wasn't running for anything, right? Like, he already squashed her dreams of being in the Senate, right?
Now that the government shutdown has ended, many restrictions are being lifted, including at the nation's airports and museums. And as CBS's Willie James Inman shows us, there's now a big rift between President Trump and one of his biggest supporters.
President Trump says he will no longer support Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling the Congresswoman from Georgia, who had once been his staunch supporter.
Oh, he just means, like, in general. Donald Trump's like, we're not besties anymore. I saw Marjorie, I said, fuck your couch. I thought she was J.D. Vance. Or maybe even that caveman from Geico.
Wacky. In a social media post on Friday night, the president took aim at Greene and said all she does is complain, complain, complain.
Hold on, we gotta read all of this. All I see wacky Marjorie do is complain, complain, complain. It seems to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator. He's not wrong about that. Or governor, but you know he didn't write this shit. He didn't write it. There's the commas and fucking, look at this, brackets. It's either that or maybe Trump is, like, running this shit through an AI to fix his, like, bad grammar. She was at 12% and didn't have a chance unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. Only Donald Trump gets to use this mouth. Or sorry. Only Bill Clinton gets to use his mouth. Or perhaps Ghislaine Maxwell's horse. It was a nice horse. So nice, I had to suck it twice. She has told many people that she is upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore. But with 219 congressmen and women, 53 U.S. senators, 24 cabinet ministers, almost 200 countries. Yeah, he didn't write this shit. And an otherwise normal life to lead. Otherwise normal life? What the fuck are you talking about, dog? Oh, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district of Georgia, that they too are fed up with her and her antics, and if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She has gone far left. She's gone far left. Oh no. They're going to call Marjorie Taylor Greene a communist, aren't they? Bro, it's coming. Oh, I'm so here for this. Look, I think I did. You know, I was complaining that I entered into the political sphere at the wrong time, but I don't think I did. I think I came in at the exact right time for my bullshittery. All right, guys? Even doing The View with their low IQ, Republican-hating anchors, thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Yeah, anytime they put thank you for your attention to this matter, I'm pretty sure that's his chief of staff.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is not anyway. I mean, she is a.
I thought he was going to say not hot. Marjorie Taylor Greene, not hot. Trump should never mess with MTG. She's been better since he was curved her on the tarmac. Voice. That and I think it's also Laura Loomer, right? Because he had his choice of his flavor of crazy, right? Like, he had his choice. He was like, I can either do the Laura Loomer or I can do the MTG. And MTG kind of looks like a caveman. And if she looked a little more like Bill Clinton, maybe I'd hit it. But I like the special kind of crazy that Laura Loomer is. I've heard that type of crazy is really fun.
Very different thinking than I have. Something happened to her over the last period of a month or two where she changed, I think, politically. I think that her...
Dude, what is that with the orange spotting, too? Like, it looks like a really bad paint job. Like, why is his face so dark in certain areas?
Constituents aren't going to be happy.
The president's negative comments about Greene come as she continues to push for the Justice Department to release all files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
These women have been waiting, some of them for decades. I talked to several victims that were raped by Jeffrey Epstein back.
And look, I actually want to, like, you know, all jokes aside, I want to really believe that Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, and Marjorie Taylor Greene had conversations with these survivors, and it really did, like, make them go, like, maybe we're fucking up. Like, I watched Tim Miller from The Bulwark, right? Never Trump conservative, say he was on Piers Morgan right after the Charlie Kirk shooting, and he said, he was like, you know what, man, like, this is depressing. He's like, this is the most depressing 35 minutes of my life. He's like, all I hear is, like, all this, like, you know, yelling, and you guys are just, like, you know, the violent left, the insane liberals. He's like, no, the liberals that I know, you know, are these insane people that you guys talk about. It's just, you do this, you're grifters. You know, I'm paraphrasing what he said. He didn't say all this stuff. You're grifters, you know, like, you're just, you know, doing this for the clicks and the views. And I was like, man, I'm glad to hear that, because I've said this over and over again. Like, I don't think I should be up here doing what I am. I think that I serve a purpose for the time. I think that it's important right now to mock everything that's going on the right, because I do think that that's an effective tool to break mass psychosis. And but I don't think that news or politics should be being disseminated by people that aren't, you know, super well educated on the subject, or are just literally just doing it for money, right? Like, I don't think that that's a good thing, and I've seen that happen so much. So I want to believe that Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace have all been doing the stuff that they're doing because they know, like, it gets them votes. They know that, like, people are very extreme and polarized right now, and that they're being just, like, you know, clickbaiters pretty much. And that after talking to these survivors, that they feel like, you know, this is real, and these are real people, and they're affected, and we feel bad about this. But I'm just not sure that I can believe that. I want to believe that, but I just can't. What's MTG's boyfriend going to do now? That's actually a solid question. Trump loves the jigsaw look. Grumpy. Oh. Loomer sucks his shroom. MTG holds out for Zangief cosplayers. Oh, Tinkerbell.
In the 90s. And so this is information that has needed to come out for a very long time. And the American people have demanded it. And so the American people deserve to see transparency from their government. Rich, powerful people should not be protected. That is completely wrong.
House Speaker Mike Johnson said Wednesday that a bill that calls for the release of all the Justice Department's Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, exactly, V Media. They know the money is good from politics, yeah.
Case files will be put to a vote next week. In other government news.
Yeah, and they are voting next week. Mike Johnson said he wants to push the Epstein files, which is sus as fuck at this point, guys. That is so suspect that he wants to make the vote happen next week.
A number of restrictions that were imposed because of the record-breaking government shutdown are being lifted this weekend. The FAA began rolling back mandated cuts to flights throughout the country. Museums in the nation's capital and the National Zoo also began reopening this weekend. And SNAP food assistance that have been put on hold for the month of November because of the shutdown are expected to be released in the next week.
Well, that's good. Like I said, there has been some good news. So now, of course, we had Marjorie Taylor Greene's response to this. This is amazing. This is amazing right here, guys. I'm going to try not to talk with my hands. Now, anytime I'm reading something or talking to somebody, I've done the Trump impersonation so much that I can't stop moving my hands, doing the Trump stuff. I can't stop now. Okay, so this is Marjorie Taylor Greene's response to Donald Trump saying he's going to pull his support. President Trump just attacked me and lied about me. I haven't called him at all, but I did send these text messages today. Apparently, this is what sent him over the edge. The Epstein files. And of course, he's coming after me hard to make an example to scare all the other Republicans before next week's vote to release the Epstein files. It's astonishing, really, how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out that he actually goes to this level. But really, most Americans wish he would fight this hard to help the forgotten men and women of America who are fed up with foreign wars and foreign causes, are going broke trying to feed their families, and are losing hope of ever achieving the American dream. You gotta admit, that went hard. Like, that goes hard. Like, I fucking don't want to agree, guys. There's definitely some cognitive dissonance going on right now. That's what I voted for. I have supported President Trump with too much of my precious time, too much of my own money, and fought harder for him even when almost all other Republicans turned their back and denounced him. But I don't worship or serve Donald Trump. I worship God, Jesus is my Savior, and I serve my district GA 14 and the American people. I remain the same today as I have always been, and I will continue to pray for Donald Trump. I just, sorry. I will continue to pray for this administration will be successful because the American people desperately deserve what they voted for. For me, I remain America first and American only. I mean, that is... Oh, I didn't even show you guys. Did I not show that on screen? Here. Because I don't think I showed it. That's the tweet. That's the tweet. So, I want to sit here and be like, she fumbled it. I want to be like, this is like actually not well written. I want to like say a lot of stuff about this, but none of it would be true. You call balls and strikes, man. And I'm calling balls and strikes that was actually really well written. She actually, like, kind of roasted him over the Epstein files thing without, like, having to go too far. She's, like, leaving herself, obviously, a crack in the door to get back in. But, that when you talk about, like, whether or not people really want, like, America first. Like, I know people are like, don't do this, don't say that. I'm just telling you how I feel about this subject. If they were to say America first and actually mean it and say, hey, look, I don't want to send, money to Israel for guns. I would rather that go to taking care of poor families in America. We'd agree with them, right? If they said, look, I want to bring back semiconductor production to America because those are really good paying jobs. And right now we're on this razor's edge of war with China because we get all of our semiconductors from Taiwan. And we also saw during the COVID pandemic that when we don't have semiconductors, our cars are more expensive. We can't get electronics. Like, so let's bring some of that back to America and let's use tariffs to do that. I'd be like, yeah, okay. Like, once again, I could have a discussion with this Marjorie Taylor Greene. I could not have a discussion with QAnon Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I don't have any faith at all that this Marjorie Taylor Greene will stay this Marjorie Taylor Greene. But for the good of America, I do hope that she does. Now, here's one thing I wanted to say, because this was a comment that I saw on here, and I found it really interesting. Here's the thing. Trump has no dirt on MGT. Why does he say MGT? Messed that up. He has no dirt on Boebert. It's all already public. Mason Massey have no skeletons. He has nothing on these people, which is why he is in attack mode. And that's true. Like, guys, Lauren Boebert's hand job isn't a mystery. We all know about it. Marjorie Taylor Greene being a part of QAnon. It's already out there. Like, they are actually the only people that can stand up and just say this shit, and Trump can't do anything to them because we already know all the crazy shit that they have done. It's kind of insane. Oh, man. Let's see. That one there. Okay, so we had... Okay, we got to do this one right here. All right, so I wanted to talk about this one because this one actually is, like I said, there's a lot of different people that are leaving MAGA, as we've already gone over, the Marjorie Taylor Greenes, the heavy-duty country. Like, there's a lot of people that are leaving, but a lot of people are also, like, calling out Trump now, too. So it's not just, you know, kind of fireworks stuff. There's also a bunch of people that are just straight up, like, you know, like normal people that were in his administration or a part of it. And so this is MAGA veteran savages mask off Trump for huge betrayal. A former ally is searching. Also, look at that picture. Oh, God. Yeah, she did gaslight him at the end by saying she would pray for him, V Media. A former ally is torching President Donald Trump for what he sees as a wholesale abandonment of the populist promises that helped put him in the White House. David LePain, who left his post as senior advisor to the Undersecretary for Benefits at the Department of Veteran Affairs, says the president's tough talk campaign pitch to veterans has curled into something far more self-centered. The messaging before was a means to an end to get elected, but once elected, that can all fall by the wayside, he said. And the people who believed him, LePain argues, are the ones getting squeezed. And it's like, oh, only if, like Dark Brandon said, if only someone had spent countless hours telling you people that there's no way that he's going to do any of these things. You know, it's like, God, I mean, it's good to see people waking up and saying, like, yeah, actually, Trump isn't great, and yeah, Trump did do these things, and yeah, Trump isn't following through promises, and yeah, Trump is getting rich off of, like, meme coins. Like, it's good to see all that, but it is so frustrating to have been a person that for the last 2 years has been saying, you guys are getting gaslit. He's not going to do any of these things. The majority of the things that he said that he's going to do aren't logistically possible. You know, even the tariffs thing now. Now they're talking about rolling back the tariffs on bananas, coffee, and beef. And it's like, yeah, because that's not what you would tariff in the first place. It doesn't make any sense. And if somebody told me that they were going to, you know, raise or lower prices and raise some revenue to pay off our debt by tariffing bananas, coffee, and beef, I'd be like, you're a moron. That doesn't make any sense. Like, it is good that people are recognizing this, but there's a reason Donald Trump won the presidency.
I love the poorly educated.
And that's because there's a lot of fucking poorly educated people out there. Okay, so many of the veterans who cheered Trump's stump speeches relied on the food stamps he had fought against funding now that he was back in office, he noted. Now that he's office, that mask comes off, and it's all about taking care of himself and fellow billionaires and millionaires, said LePain, a retired Marine Corps colonel and longtime national security spokesman. He's an elitist. And one of the other things that needs to be said here is he was on Veterans Day saying, like, all of these, like, people are on Snap. They're terrible people. They're freeloaders. Not recognizing that there's tons of veterans that are on Snap. So on Veterans Day, he's literally shitting on veterans that are disabled because they fought to protect our rights in foreign countries, or just for oil, mostly just for oil. He's shitting on them because they are a large proportion of this, not to mention the number of those people that they fired that then had to take SNAP benefits because they fired them in the Doge cuts. Le Pen's broadside lands as Trump faces a mutiny inside his MAGA base. The Georgia firebrand Marjorie Taylor Greene has become the face of that dissent, blasting Trump for insisting groceries are at the lowest prices they have ever been, a claim voters flatly reject from the shopping aisles. I work in grocery. I've been in grocery for 20 years. I can tell you, prices are not going down. They just use DoorDash numbers. Jesus Christ, DoorDash numbers. We're idiocracy. DoorDash numbers to show the state of the economy is actually doing really good, guys. It's actually really doing real good right now because DoorDash said so. It's so dumb. On the Sean Spicer show, Greene warned the White House that the line is backfiring. Gaslighting the people and trying to tell them that prices have come down is not helping, she said. She added that Americans know what they're paying for at the grocery store and need leaders who will show what we are in the trenches with them, not deny what's happening. And that's literally what I used to tell Trump supporters when they come in here and they say the economy is bad. I'd say, by what metric? And they'd say, just look around. I'm like, no, you're not making the right argument. If I were to judge the economy by the types of metrics that are usually used by rich people to gaslight you, I would tell you the stock market is good. I would tell you GDP is good. I would tell you that inflation is declining. Now, 2 of those 3 things are no longer true in this administration. Okay, the stock market is good, but that's because of an AI bubble that is going to pop at one point because literally OpenAI is like 100% going to explode at some point and the stock market is going to crash. And the reason you know that's true is the guy from The Big Short has a $1 billion bet on it happening. But I would say you got to use the right metrics. What are you talking about? And I'd always say, I'm like, use CPI. CPI, and I'm not talking about core CPI. Core CPI takes out energy and housing. Use CPI and tell me, is it more expensive? Is energy more expensive? Is housing more expensive? Because those are the things that affect blue collar, working class, middle class Americans. If you look at CPI numbers, I can show you from January when Donald Trump took office, the rise in every category except for, I think there's like one category. I can't remember what it was. Maybe electronics. I think it was TVs. TVs got cheaper. Gas prices have stayed pretty much static. Egg prices have declined, but still are higher year over year. It's like, and there's avian flu again. There's something like 4 million cases in September, 4 million cases in October. And last I looked, there's about 1 million cases in early November. So those prices are probably going back up as well. You have to know what you're arguing against here. And you're not arguing against, and you can in this administration point out that inflation is still rising. Core CPI is still rising. You can point out that GDP is going to end at like 1.3% for the year. That's insane. That is so fucking low. And that's a super positive outlook on our GDP. If our GDP hits a 1.3, we're going to be excited. That's insane. Okay, so the angst runs deeper than food prices. Trump has angered loyalists by championing more visas for skilled foreign workers, approving $20 billion bailout for Argentina, and launching military operations in the Middle East and the Caribbean, as well as, we might go into Nigeria. And the Epstein drag continues to dog him. Trump's on-again, off-again ties to Jeffrey Epstein remain a political landmine, providing fresh ammunition to Republicans willing to say out loud, when they're protecting pedophiles, when they are blowing our budget, when they are starting their wars overseas, I'm sorry, I can't go along with that. Thomas Massey of Kentucky said on CNN, even the most ardent Trump supporters understand. Trump, for his part, dismisses the piling on as purely political, waving it away on Truth Social as the Jeffrey Epstein hoax.
I love the poorly educated.
And he'll continue to do that. Yeah, like I said, he'll get away with all this. He will. Because there's no balls in Washington. They don't have a spine in Washington. He's going to get away with all this. Our best bet is that he eats one too many cheeseburgers, the edema gets him, or, we can get his ass impeached in 2026. Because these people are never going to do anything about any of this. But it's good to see that people are waking up And like I said, you're never going to get MAGA cult members. 20-25% of Republicans are never, ever going to turn on Donald Trump. They're going to do what Megyn Kelly did. And they're going to be like, well, they're only 15. That's not that bad. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's see. We got a couple more. Oh, yeah. I guess I should have. I didn't want to. Here, let's just... I'll show you this one too from that one. This is also from, so this is a TikTok. This is also MAGA people right here. Watch this.
Gonna play with these anymore. MAGA hats are off. America First hats are on. Burn, baby, burn. And this is a great representation of what's left of MAGA.
Damn!
I'm not gonna play with these anymore.
I had to show you guys that. And you know, like, somebody's gonna come in and they're gonna be like, that's just some Democrat that bought MAGA hats and burned them. You know why you know he's not a Democrat? Because he said MAGA hats go off and America First hats go on. And that is what all of these MAGA people are doing right now. So, we're healing? Kind of. Kind of. I don't know what it's healing into though. I'm not real sure how what we're healing into is the question. All right, I wanted to watch this. As you guys know, I've been prepping for my move to Canada, okay? I don't plan on moving to Canada. I love California. I enjoy California. There's no greater place to live than California, and I live in a very nice place in California. But just in case, I got to butter up my Canadians, okay? I got to make sure that I have some type of slippery path through the border if things get bad. Donald Trump is being backed into a corner at this point, guys. There's Epstein emails everywhere. Marjorie Taylor Greene's turning on him. You know, like the weasel is in the corner, and the weasel is going to do something insane. Believe me. So I'm buttering up my Canadians. And those of you who know, I'm a big Letterkenny fan. Okay, love me some Trailer Park Boys. Did hear some bad news about Bubbles the other day. That's not good. Okay. But Trailer Park Boys, love Trailer Park Boys. But I love Letterkenny. And this guy reminds me of some of the dudes on Letterkenny. So we're going to listen to some news from a couple days ago, a week ago, a couple days ago. And we're going to hear it told to us by a man who very much sounds like he should be on Letterkenny.
It's just flip a shitter right now. Ronald Trump's got even more ties with Epstein, eh? What a shock. The mangled grapefruit perv, known for being a perv on his own daughter, is a perv. Yeah, not a plot twist. Don't act surprised you're on the pod after rinsing 2 triple Canadians at fucking Burger Bear. Of course this is where we are. The Democrats dropped this bombshell, the least surprising news since Dean Cain tore his glutes in Gestapo
Since Dean Cain tore his glutes in Gestapo training. Oh my God, there's been so much weird stuff that's happened that I can't remember it all. I forgot about the video of Dean Cain jumping over the obstacles.
training. Good job, Dems. That'll make up for the longest Govy shutdown in U.S. history, accomplishing absolutely fucking nothing. You fucking dorks botched this like your Matt Gates' face.
Oh, that face. What? Dude, he got a Mar-a-Lago makeover too. It's so weird. And I also like to point out that's a diss on the Democrats for fucking up that government shutdown. So I'm with that too. We'll allow it.
Fuck buddies, idiots. Nothing shrieks freedom like paying a shit ton for what other freedomless countries get for fucking free. Bleak fucking timeline, boys. Most powerful country in the world run by a 2-party system more broke than my buddy Rick losing it all at the slots again at fucking River Creek. How many times she gotta hop in, Rick? Fucking.
Wait. Wait. Okay, Canadians, help me out. Do you guys say happen as hoppin'? Wait, do Canadians say beg instead of bag? Or is that just a Wisconsin thing? Canadians, do you guys say beg or do you say bag?
I don't even know who's worse. Republicans are more openly evil than fucking Megabyte, but at least they know it. They'll keep covering up for old man Dump, shitting himself and falling asleep between lies to his base of inbred hill goblins that'll still worship him just to fucking own the woke libs they've never even met. Democrats act smart, but keep getting shit kicked like the fucking oil in Colorado.
Oh, hockey jokes. Oh, I love my Canadians, man. I love my Canadians.
The fuck was that, boy? Let's figure it out between the pipes. They pretend to care while goons like John Fetterman looks like the Lord of the Rings cave troll if he played bass in Limp Bizkit. Sell out the...
Oh, did you guys watch the This Space stream I did the other day? Where we watched the video of the robot, the Russian robot coming out, and it falls, and I was like, uh-oh, it pulled a Fetterman. Am I going to hell for that? Probably. But that was probably going to happen anyways, okay? I am, from this point on, every time somebody falls down, I'm going to be like, calm down, John Fetterman.
Common folk more consistently than SGA putting up a fucking 30 burger. How the fuck is this country leading the global chart? This ain't democracy. November 11th was yesterday. We can lest we forget all we want, but we've lost the fucking point entirely. Time to make like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. New World Order, bud. Remember when Bret Hart fucking joined NWO? That was fucking sweet, man. Fucking sharpshooter and shit. Buddy, if you're looking for uplifting news, just flip a shitter.
That was actually a pretty cool time in wrestling. Look, I don't watch wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling since I was like 14, okay? But when I watched wrestling, back in my day, that was the golden age, okay? That was the golden age, okay? That was before Hulk Hogan decided that he was a Trump supporter. Things were still good. We thought that, like, people were, like, taking vitamins and, you know, saying their prayers and shit like that. That was back when, you know, like, the Ultimate Warrior was hyped up on Adderall and steroids and will, like, literally rip the top rope off every time he got into the ring, okay? Literally. That was the golden age. And Bret the Hitman Hart not only was one of the coolest dudes ever and wore pink, made wearing hot pink, super cool, okay? He had a brother named Jim the Anvil Neidhart. That is seriously one of the coolest names that has ever existed. Ever! And Bret Hart shit all over Vince McMahon, who's a terrible human being. Shout out to Bret Hart, another beautiful, wonderful, amazing, fantastic Canadian. And shout out to all my Canadians. I'm coming. All right, we're almost out of time, and I've still got a lot of videos. What is going on here? Are we going to be able to get through it, boys? I don't know if we're going to be able to get through it all. Oh, we have to talk about this. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Almost forgot about this. Guys, do you guys know what I think it's called Cluck Hut? Cluck Hut is? I think it's like a soap, a plant-based soap company. Fun fact. I didn't know that soaps were made out of fat, okay? I think I learned that on Fight Club. I believe that's when I learned that soaps are made out of fat. And if you've never seen, there's this movie called Perfume. And it's a really weird kind of thriller horror movie about a guy in France back in like the Middle Ages that made perfume out of women's bodies. Yeah, like I said, weird, crazy, okay? But... I was talking to somebody about that movie, and I'm like, wait a minute. Did they ever use fat from humans to make soap? And I believe there was an affirmative to something to do with Nazis. And that doesn't surprise me. So anyways, complete side note there. But these guys are plant-based. You betcha. Okay? Plant-based soaps. And what happened... was these guys, apparently, they got called out for being too woke. The plant-based soap. We live in a very strange time when conservative people are buying plant-based soap. The streams got crossed, okay? Like, 10 years ago, if I saw a conservative person in my health food store that I run, first of all, I would 100% know, okay? I would 100% know that they were lost, because I would see them and I'd be like, oh, no, you don't look like you belong here, okay? And then I would immediately know that they didn't belong there because they would say something like, why are these vegetables so expensive? I'd say, well, those are organic vegetables, so they're more expensive because, you know, they're made with hippie love and, I don't know, like unicorn farts and stuff like that. And they go, I ain't paying $3 for an onion. I'm like, okay, well, understandable. Things are tough out there. But things have gotten weird. And now you do see, on occasion, somebody walking through with a Trump fuck your feelings shirt on in the health food store. And they're like, does this have red dye 40 in it? RFK Jr., you know who he is? He said I should be drinking raw milk. What? I didn't know that milk wasn't raw. Do they cook it? There's always really good jokes from the conservatives. You have no idea. So anyways, apparently conservatives are really mad that this plant-based soap company is woke. And this is like absolutely one of the funniest responses. Like, we live in a day and age where it's like, if you get caught as a company doing something, like the first thing you do is just come out and be like, no, I'm really sorry. Like, we don't take political stances on things. They did not do that. They did not do that. What's happening, gamer? Welcome. Is Christian conservative ideology just pure Satanism at this point? They don't have a single viewpoint that Jesus would have approved of. I could make an argument for that. I can also make an argument that either Peter Thiel or Donald Trump are the Antichrist. Read the book, John Milton. It's like 400 and something years old, called Paradise Lost. The Antichrist is one of the main characters in it. Literally could be either Donald Trump or Peter Thiel. Like, the parallels between Satan in Paradise Lost and Donald Trump and Peter Thiel are insane. So here's the video. Whoops.
Aren't you guys? Way to alienate half your customer base, libtard. We get this a lot. And let's be clear, if you don't suck at being a human, you're welcome here.
Our marketing strategy was never to alienate customers.
It's to find customers we'd actually want to spend time with.
So let's put an end to this vicious rumor.
We just prefer folks who use soap, don't protect pedophiles.
Believe women deserve equal rights and don't cheer for concentration camps.
I mean, the bar to clear is literally laying on the ground.
Unfortunately, some folks are in so deep they cannot see it, let alone clear it.
I see what you did there. You see, we could sell our souls, operate without any semblance of morality, and grift to the lowest common denominator.
But we already have a president who's tapped that market.
And avoiding a tap market is key to a successful business.
We hope you understand.
And if that means you won't touch yourself with our soap,
that's probably for the best.
We're not here to deal with jealous siblings.
That's kind of like putting nuts in a muffin.
No matter how you slice it, they're still inbred. Remember, here at my Cluck Hut, we might not be for everyone, but if you don't suck at being a person,
we might be for you.
Is that not the best? Is that not the best commercial? Oh, so amazing. And apparently they've received like tons of backlash from all this. But also, they're getting really popular because it, you know, like they say, no news is bad news. So I fully support Cluck Hut. If you guys need you some plant-based soap, this is not a paid promotion. They have not given me any money at all. YouTube do not demonetize me. They have not, neither has these people either. Okay? Or any of these people. I'm just wearing all the branded stuff today. It's not a paid promotion, but if you guys need you some plant-based soap, hit up Cluck Hut because they're amazing. Amazing. Let's go. Let's go, Cluck Hut. What's up, Benny? Yeah, soap and lampshades. Benny, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Benny. Like I said, I'm reading right now. Man's Search for Meaning. Viktor Frankl. Okay. I feel better now. I feel like I've gotten through the majority of these videos like I was trying to do. What do we got? We got 28, 728. All right, we should be able to do these two. If you're in a mood to... No, stop it. Okay. So we've already covered a lot of the Epstein stuff, but as always, we need to have an Epstein segment. And it's like, I always feel better when everybody else is covering Epstein stuff because, obviously I don't reach that many people with my videos. So I always feel kind of like, a little sad, a little depressed that it's not getting enough coverage. But that has not been the problem right now. The coverage of the Epstein files right now is prolific. And I'm really happy to say that that's happening and that these stories are getting out there. But still, our show has always been, we keep the Epstein files in the news. We reach, I think I reach between my two channels. I think I reach about 100,000 people a month, right? So that's not bad. That's not bad, but it's not enough, right? And a lot of those people are people that watch all my videos, so it's not exactly 100,000 people. But one of the people that I've really enjoyed watching recently is Lawrence O'Donnell. I think that Lawrence O'Donnell is super based. I love the fact that he seems to be absolutely fucking fearless when it comes to talking shit about Donald Trump. There's very few people in mainstream media that I give any props to at all. But Lawrence O'Donnell has actually 100% been like 10 toes down, stands on business, talks mad shit about Trump, and I appreciate that he's done what he's done. So this is him talking about the Epstein files that were just released, the emails that were just released.
Thank someone. If you're in a mood to thank someone, thank Amy Schuster. That is what I would have told our first guest tonight before he tweeted this at 9:56 a.m. The only reason these emails are out is Lawrence had the survivors' lawyers on who gave me the tip to subpoena the estate. Why did Justice or the FBI not get and release these? Carson Ro Khanna was booked on this program on July 23rd of this year. He followed that night an appearance by attorney Brad Edwards, who revealed in our discussion that the way for Congress to obtain a massive trove of information about Jeffrey Epstein would be to subpoena Jeffrey Epstein's estate. Brad Edwards said that he knows the attorneys handling the Epstein estate, and he is sure that they would immediately comply with such a subpoena, and he was right.
That's dope. See, that's dope right there. Like, these are the things that, like, if people aren't keeping this going, these things aren't happening. So that's actually like really amazing because this, coincidence happens that brings about this great positive change. And that's why I keep saying, like, I know that it's hard to talk about. I know this isn't a fun topic. It's not something, where I'm just making fun of Trump all the time. It's not me mocking, Kenkel's McTaco tits. But it's important, and the reason it's important is that the more it gets talked about, the more of a chance there is that more new information gets released on these things. And so, yeah, shout out to Ro Khanna and shout out to Lawrence O'Donnell.
Brad Edwards was booked on this program that night by Amy Schuster, whose job is to find us the best lineup of guests possible for this program, and she does it every night without ever checking with me. I usually have no input on the guests. The words I say here are mine. What you hear from me on this program comes from me. I write the scripts, but that's just one piece of a program like this. Melissa Ryerson, for the last several years, has been deciding what the shape of this program should be. She has a much better command of the news landscape than I do every day, and she suggests what we should be covering, and she's always right. And only then do I apply my thinking to what we're going to present to you tonight, and eventually my writing of what we will present to you tonight. But having Brad Edwards, who is an attorney for hundreds of the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, join us on this program that night was Amy Schuster's idea. And telling us about sending a subpoena to the Epstein estate was Brad Edwards' idea.
Fuck yeah, Amy. Fuck yeah, Brad. Let's go.
Announced right here on this program. I didn't think that up. I never would have thought of that. And so,
Brown coat, you gonna get you some Cluck Hut soap? Hell yeah!
yes, Congress issued the subpoena that produced these emails because Brad Edwards suggested that they do that on this program, and Congressman Ro Khanna, who was the next guest on this program that night, immediately said on television that night.
Yeah, what Mama Brooks said, Ro Khanna slightly scares me, though. He's tight with the tech bros. Like, I agree. Like I said, I keep saying this, people, like, I agree with you, and anytime that I say, like, I give people props for something, that doesn't always mean that, like, I have undying support. I'm one of these people that I think a lot of people, like, can't stand, to be honest with you, because I don't look at, like, something somebody does as being the totality of what they do. There's a few things, like if you harm children, or if you hurt women, or, the misogyny, LGBT hate, homophobia, racism, like, those are game breakers for me. But, I can disagree with people on policy. I can disagree with people with the things they did in their past. I do believe that people deserve past redemption. And that's all based off the context of what they do later in life and stuff like that. So, I agree with you, Mama Brooke. I think I've said this before on this channel, is that I actually, when everybody was kind of dick riding Ro Khanna, I was like, I don't know that I like Ro Khanna that much. I don't think that, I didn't really like his response to the protests that had happened in his office. I didn't like a couple of things that he said. I thought it was a little too establishy. And, but over the all, like, what he's done, and like I said, this is where I give props to people that you'd never hear me give props to, and I give props to MTG. I give props to Boebert and Nancy Mace for signing on to that discharge petition. Like, does that mean I support him? Hell no, I'm not supporting Boebert or MTG. I disagree with a lot of what Rand Paul says. And Thomas Massey, but I don't disagree with them, as far as people. Like, I think that they have their belief and their foundational beliefs, but at the end of the day, I don't think that they're pedos. I don't think, that they're racist or homophobic. I disagree with them on policy and stuff like that. So, yeah, I agree.
That he would take up that suggestion.
Make me do it. Welcome.
And then he helped lead the charge for the subpoena issued by the House. A Republican-controlled House. A Democratic member of the House of Representatives who gets the idea of issuing a subpoena to the Epstein estate on this program and then brings that idea into a Republican House of Representatives and prevails and manages to persuade
pretty amazing. Yeah.
House of Representatives controlled by Donald Trump's loyalists to do something that has the potential to not...
Dude, good job, Lawrence. Like, that's a very good way to put that. Like, because I think we do. I think we underestimate exactly how amazing getting that discharge petition signed and getting people to do it during this administration was. So straight up, like I said, huge props to the people that made this happen. Huge props.
Just crush Donald Trump as a politician, but depending on what else might be revealed in the Epstein files and as a result of this subpoena, maybe Donald Trump's presidency could come to an end. Maybe Donald Trump could become the second president to resign the presidency, the second Republican president to resign the presidency. How bad can this get for Donald Trump? We have no idea, but he does. Donald Trump knows exactly how bad it can get because he knows everything about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He knows everything that is or might be in the Epstein files or in the possession of the Epstein estate.
I love MTG and Trump having a slap fight, making me some popcorn to sit back and enjoy it. Brown coat. Like, dude, that's it. Yeah. Like, just don't stop it, right? Like, you ain't got to be supportive of either combatant. You just go, well, I'm just not going to interfere. They start going at it. You're like, well, this is fun.
That could be damaging to him. He knows. And we see the way he's behaving about this. This might be the worst of it. What we've discovered in Jeffrey Epstein's emails today might just be the worst of it. And if it is, then Donald Trump can probably survive this. But Donald Trump himself is making an all-out effort to stop the release of the Epstein files.
Yep, there's more.
After these emails were released today, Donald Trump has made the judgment that what remains hidden in the Epstein files must never be seen by anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why he had Congresswoman Lauren Boebert in the White House today, hoping she would be convinced to take her name off of the discharge.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure that's what they did in that room. Like I said, Dinky might have just wanted a quick hand job. Well, you guys, you can't just say that Donald Trump pulled her into there to get her to not, or to take her signature off the Epstein discharge petition. There is a solid chance that Dinky just needed a handy. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there.
Petition, which she had
can't rule that out.
Already signed in the House of Representatives. She did not bend to that pressure. The discharge petition has been officially filed after getting its 218th signature today, when the newest member of the House of Representatives,
let's go, Adelita. Let's
in
go.
Her first act as a member of the House, became the most important member of the House today when she provided the 218th signature for that discharge petition, which will come to a vote possibly next week in the House of Representatives, that would form.
When Trump pulls Lauren Boebert into the Situation Room for a little handy, you think he closes his eyes and thinks about Bill Clinton?
Force the release of the Epstein files. J.D. Vance is doing exactly what Gerald Ford did while the Nixon presidency was sinking and Richard Nixon was under increasing pressure over several months that led to his resignation. Gerald Ford said nothing. When things were the darkest.
Bro, there's no way Trump steps down. Like, dude, I know this, it sounds weird, but no way Trump steps down. Nixon, it's so crazy to say, Nixon had more integrity than Donald Trump. There's absolutely no way Donald Trump steps down.
For President Richard Nixon, Vice President Gerald Ford said nothing.
What's happening, Christina
and when
and
Richard Nixon resigned the presidency, Vice President Ford said, "Our long national nightmare is over." Tonight, J.D. Vance is silent. Tonight, J.D. Vance is Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford said nothing about Richard Nixon as Nixon sank deeper into scandal, as Nixon, on his way to impeachment.
No, J.D. is just salivating. J.D. Vance, this is the plan from the beginning, boys. Peter Thiel said it. Peter Thiel said, they won't vote for my ideas, so we need to get somebody into office so that way we can take power. J.D. Vance is Peter Thiel's Trojan horse. That's his way into power right there, guys. 5 months? Mama Brooke, you've been here for 5 months. And I do talk a lot. Like I said, if J.D. Vance is probably loving this. I would say this even. I would guess that Peter Thiel may have had a hand in some of this stuff happening. Because Peter Thiel in 2016 came out in support of Donald Trump. Peter Thiel obviously donated to Trump in 2016. Peter Thiel groomed J.D. Vance and spent something like $17 million on his Senate run. It helped him get his foot through the door with Trump for this vice presidency. And don't forget that Peter Thiel hates Trump now because Trump called him a fucking scumbag, allegedly, on a phone call. So believe me, J.D. Vance is just sitting there just salivating. This is probably exactly what they wanted.
Which he only avoided by resigning the presidency. Gerald Ford said nothing because Gerald Ford knew that when he eventually took over the presidency, he didn't want the stain of Nixon on him. And so J.D. Vance is silent tonight.
No, I don't agree with that.
What is J.D. Vance supposed to say tonight when he reads an email written by Jeffrey Epstein during the Trump presidency in 2019?
Put a fire alarm.
6 months before Jeffrey Epstein's second arrest, saying, quote, "Of course he knew about the girls," meaning Donald Trump. Donald Trump has always denied any involvement in or knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking and raping of children. And the Washington Post is reporting that one of Jeffrey Epstein's emails says,
dude, Lawrence O'Donnell's a real one. He's a G for that shit. He just straight up said, "Graping the children," dude. How many news media people have you guys watched beat around the bush on these stories? Lawrence O'Donnell just says it straight up. This man has no fucks to give.
Donald Trump is reporting that one of Jeffrey Epstein's emails says Donald Trump never got a massage. Donald Trump wasn't involved, according to this email. The email written by Jeffrey Epstein says Trump knew of it and came to my house many times during that period. Damn. Epstein wrote in an email to himself on February 1st, 2019, the Washington Post is reporting.
He just never got a massage.
Several months before he was arrested on trafficking charges and killed himself in jail, he never got a massage. So there's Jeffrey Epstein himself letting Donald Trump off the hook on that point. But Donald Trump's always insisted he never knew anything.
Yeah, you don't lie that much about all. Like, if you like I said before, even if you knew, dude, you would just admit, like, you would be like, yeah, I knew him, but no, I did not know he was doing those things. Like, we had a business relationship, or even if you're like, yeah, we were friends, but I didn't know he was doing all that shit. Like, I've said this before. Like, there are people that obviously are going to be named in emails or named in the files or named on the flight logs that did not do anything or were not aware of the things that Epstein did. I mean, it's inevitable. It's statistically possible. But there's going to be a lot of motherfuckers in those files that definitely knew. And if you are doing all of the things that Donald Trump is doing right now, just nonstop trying to keep these files from being released, you know, calling it a hoax, saying that Barack Obama and Comey and Biden got together and made up these articles, these files, trying to throw Larry Summers under the bus. By the way, Donald Trump talked about Larry Summers being in the files before Larry Summers was mentioned in the emails. By the way, it's almost like he knows what's in the files. Crazy. It's almost like he knows the people that knew Jeffrey Epstein. Crazy. Donald Trump wouldn't be fighting this hard to stop these files from coming out if Donald Trump wasn't in those files.
That Jeffrey Epstein was up to. Never knew anything possible.
Has anyone asked the Clintons about this yet? I do believe they've been subpoenaed by Congress, but we have not. Are we just talking about what the Bill Clinton and Donald Trump thing? Oh, God, I want to hear that shit. I want to hear Bill Clinton's testimony, dude. Oh, my God, that's going to be so fucking lit. I have to use my kids' terminology every once in a while. Oh, dude. It's going to be so amazing. It's going to be so amazing to see Bill Clinton get asked. So when it says here, when they ask whether or not Trump blew Bubba, was he talking about you?
Possibly illegal that Jeffrey Epstein was up to. What is J.D. Vance or Donald Trump or any Trump defender supposed to say tonight when they read an email from Jeffrey Epstein after the first criminal investigation of Jeffrey Epstein in Florida, which led to Jeffrey Epstein pleading guilty, and Jeffrey Epstein writes an email to his criminal co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011 saying, quote, "I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump." Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Epstein says that one of the young girls in the investigation, quote, "spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned, police chief, etc." I am 75% there. Donald Trump spent hours at Jeffrey Epstein's house with one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, according to Jeffrey Epstein, in a private communication with his criminal co-conspirator, whose response to this was, "I have been thinking about that." The only way that Ghislaine Maxwell could have been thinking about that is that she knew what Jeffrey Epstein was talking about in every word of that email. That means she knew what it means that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. And Ghislaine Maxwell was not asked a single question about that email.
And Ghislaine Maxwell is about to get her sentence commuted. Because at this point, Trump, he doesn't have anything left to lose, right? Like, the walls are closing in. She's getting a commutation.
By Donald Trump's criminal defense lawyer, who now serves as Donald Trump's Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, who went to Florida to do a so-called interview with Ghislaine Maxwell. The Justice Department could have had that email and hundreds of other emails that we haven't seen yet that would be very specific about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, that would have been legitimate and serious points of questioning for Ghislaine Maxwell, who's never, ever answered questions to any federal prosecutor or in her federal criminal trial about any of this. Donald Trump has obviously been living all year in fear of release of the Jeffrey Epstein files, and tonight that fear has to be more intense than ever. The fear that makes him snap and call Republicans very bad and stupid.
Yep. It just makes Trump's signature dance move finally make some sense. But Browncut, okay, so if this one's Clinton, is this one Epstein? and we know every once in a while he goes from the side moves to the front moves. So is that, who are the other two? You got Clinton and you got Epstein. Who are the two in front?
Is an informed fear. It is not an irrational fear. It's an informed fear.
Good. That's
because
one.
Donald Trump knows exactly what his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein was. We don't. Donald Trump knows exactly how much direct exposure and familiarity he had with the people Jeffrey Epstein calls the girls in his email. We don't. We don't know that, but Donald Trump does.
Yeah,
Donald Trump knows everything about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein that might be in the Epstein files.
Putin and Kim Jong-un. Good call. All right, Putin, Kim Jong-un, Jeffrey Epstein, and Bill Clinton walk into a bar.
And knowing everything that Donald Trump himself knows about his relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump had a choice. He could have said, let it all come out. I have nothing to fear because I know everything about it.
Bro, he ran on that shit. He was like, elect me and I will release the files.
And I know there's nothing to fear. Or knowing everything Donald Trump knows about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and after having been briefed about what the Epstein files say about him by his Justice Department, Donald Trump seems to have decided that the Epstein files must never come out.
Never.
That's the position he has chosen. And now the dog is barking at the very bad and stupid Republicans who support the release of the Epstein files. After the dog barked at those Republicans and called them bad and stupid at 2:03 p.m. today, 4 hours later, Politico reported senior Republicans privately believe dozens of Republicans will vote for it, possibly 100 or more, according to 5 people granted anonymity to speak candidly. And so the mad, barking dog might be on his way to creating the biggest bipartisan landslide vote against Donald Trump the House of Representatives has ever seen.
Yeah, and if it's 290, I don't think the Senate gets a choice as to whether or not they'll vote on it, right? So the concern is that John Thune, the head of the Senate right now, will choose not to allow a vote on the Epstein discharge petition, right? So if it's 290 votes in the House, I don't think that he can stop it.
Tonight, instead of looking at the Epstein files that were created by the Justice Department's investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, we are looking at emails about Donald Trump written by Jeffrey Epstein that were in the possession of Jeffrey Epstein's estate after his death. And we have those emails tonight thanks to a thread of luck that began 112 days ago when Amy Schuster decided that the guests on this program that night should be.
So Grumpy, here's the thing, and I thought that too. So Trump can still veto it, but Congress can override his veto. I didn't know that. I just read that the other day, That's, and you guys should always double check anything I say. Like, you know, a lot of stuff I'm saying is just based off my memory, right? But I do believe what I read the other day, because I had the same opinion. I was like, Trump's just going to veto it. When it gets there, he'll just veto it. I read that Congress can override his veto. Now, that probably takes, you know, a certain amount of votes to do it. But there's a chance that they could override his veto.
Attorney for Epstein survivors, Brad Edwards.
Yeah, there it
along
is.
with Congressman
Yeah.
Ro Khanna and Andrew Weissman.
Dude, Lawrence O'Donnell. I love this man. I do. I really do. I think that dude, like I said, there's some real silver linings to Trump's presidency, and one of them is all the like cool people that I found. I know a lot of people are always like, "You didn't know who Lawrence O'Donnell is? What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, I wasn't a political person, man. I literally started making YouTube videos making fun of MAGA for being insane and saying that Democrats drink the blood of children and shit like that. Like, I didn't think that it was going to spread. I thought it was a localized disease that was going to go away. And now here I am 3 years later streaming about the mass psychosis that is going on in this country. Crazy. All right. Well, because it's been such a fun week, and I haphazardly threw together this show, and we succeeded. We have succeeded. All right, guys? We have succeeded so far. But we know what time it is. And, you know, we've been watching a lot of the 22 minutes videos because, like I said, my Canadian people over on my Funny Life Clips channel, they're amazing. They've got videos just like rolling right now. They're doing so good over there. I love these people. And they're just like the nicest people of all time. They're all super cool. And also, they made Letterkenny, okay? They made Letterkenny, you know? To be fair, okay? And Trailer Park Boys. And 22 minutes. So now I've added 22 minutes to this. And also we're going to watch some other videos of other stuff as well at one point, because they have, I shit you not, just recommended a boatload of really funny content for us to react to. And I hope you guys know this. When I first started doing these videos, like I just said, when I first started doing them, I was literally just making fun of crazy MAGA people that believe that Joe Biden was a skin suit or a robot, or that James Woods was playing him, or that JFK Jr. was going to come back from the dead and run for vice president. These are all things that, like, I thought for sure was just this localized disease that wasn't going to spread, and I just got on here and made videos making fun of them by watching Jordan Klepper videos. But, you know, I really wanted to just do fun stuff. I wanted to do comedy. I wanted to do reactions to funny videos. And that got just thrown completely off kilter by having to, you know, do what I thought was right, and that is to stand up and use the little bit of a voice that I do have to speak out against Donald Trump and against MAGA and against the fascist use of unilateral executive authoritarian power. And it's been good that we're doing this, and it feels good, but we don't get to laugh enough. You can never laugh enough. So we're gonna watch this one. You guys are gonna like this one. Just came out too. We got this one hot and fresh, just a couple days ago. Okay, a couple days, a week, something like that. This video is from 22 minutes. You should go to This Hour Has 22 Minutes. This Hour Has 22 Minutes is a long-running show. I'm learning so much. Okay. On Canadian broadcasting television, and apparently it's I want to say their version of PBS, pretty much. It's publicly funded, and I've learned a lot about Canada since I started making these videos. Apparently I didn't know enough about Canada, but I'm learning a lot about Canada. But you should definitely go over and give This Hour Has 22 Minutes a like and a subscribe, and I'll link the video in the chat as soon as we get done watching it. But these guys are really blowing up right now, and I couldn't see a better group of people getting to blow up. Like, this is like, we've had enough Kim Kardashian, man. We've had enough Jerry Springer. Like, seeing really funny, entertaining, truly deserving people gaining fame makes me so happy. So I've been really this has been really fun. So this is Doug Ford calls Donald Trump to not apologize. Oh, and this is I'm gonna mess up his name. I think it's Mark Critch that does the Trump, and he does a really good Trump voice, Trump impersonation. My Canadian viewers are gonna flame me if I got that wrong. Dude, his Biden. Oh my God, the way he says Biden is perfect. Biden. Because Biden. Oh, he should have said Sleepy Joe, though. I'm going to mark him down 1 point for not saying Sleepy Joe. Jesus in Bible. Or Biden in White House. Okay, if Rob Ford doesn't smoke some crack, though, I'm going to be real disappointed. All right, we have to knock him a point. I think we watched the Halloween one. We watched the Halloween trick-or-treating, Trump trick-or-treating at Mark Carney's house. And I think I gave him an 8 of 10 on that one. I'm gonna go 9 of 10 on this one, but I'm going to knock him a point because he could be more orange. He's not quite orange enough. Like, you need to apply more orange. You need, like, Halloween pumpkin orange.
No, it's not.
You complete
me.
Oh, that's good times. Oh, that is good times right there. All right. Here you guys go. It's in the chat now. You should definitely. These guys, they have the Nice Agent. The Nice Agent video is amazing, where it's a Canadian ICE agent that goes around, and I think his name is Trent McClellan, is the guy, the comedian who does it, and he gets Americans to talk to him, and it's actually really funny. The other 2 videos I think I've already posted over there with reactions, where getting busted at the Canadian border with pot and being pulled over in Canada for a sobriety test. Those are the ones I think we've done so far. And like I said, I have a whole backlog of just like video after video of people from Canada that have been giving me ideas for videos to watch. So we're going to actually try to expand out to some other stuff. If you guys know of any good stuff out there, feel free to drop it in the comments on the video. There'll always be the availability to that. You can, I'd love to look at anything that you guys also think is funny, because like I said, this is very important. This is very important. This man will tell you, Viktor Frankl will tell you, like, you can't lose yourself. You can't lose who you are. You have to find your why to tolerate the how. And you really got to, we are being tested, and you can't lose yourself. So find your why to tolerate that how. All right, guys. It was fun tonight. Had a good time. It was a haphazard show that I threw together at the last minute because I was at my kid's belt testing today. So super fun times, and I'm glad that it ended up working out and it wasn't completely chaotic and garbage. And good things are happening. Good things are happening. Trump is getting backed into a corner. He's probably going to do something fucking crazy, so it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But this is like chemotherapy, right? It's like we got cancer, and chemo ain't fun. And chemo makes you feel like you're dying. And you kind of feel like, man, I don't even want to like do the chemo because this shit sucks. But it's important, it's necessary, and you got to keep going to those appointments. So we're going to keep showing up. We're not going to get exhausted. We're not going to get apathetic. We're going to allow ourselves to breathe and to laugh and have a good time. And in the end, we're going to come out the other end of this a whole lot stronger. So thank you for everybody that showed up tonight. I appreciate the shit out of you guys. Beanie and the rest of you, thank you so much for showing up. Glad to see my 21st century suffragettes in here. I was on vacation this week, so I actually got to pop in and see one of you guys' streams. It was nice. I love you guys. I really do. And I do appreciate you guys as well. Next show will be next Wednesday at 5 p.m. So I hope I see you guys then. All right. Have a good night.